is the Broods theme song, and George Gatton didn't get us a song today, so we just decided to play our guest, Clayton Williams' second favorite theme song, because everybody's first should be Stone Cold.
Obviously.
Yeah. So, you're listening to Kickin' Ass with
Jesse
and Andy.
Brought to you by American Barbell Club.
That's abcstrong.com.
Check them out, guys.
Go get your stuff there.
Yeah, and remember to rate and subscribe us on iTunes. That's my new little pitch.
Yes.
Throw that in there once in a while.
We got to talk about that. We got to say that. So, yeah, rate and subscribe.
Rate, subscribe, and American Barbell Club. Thanks, guys.
There it is. Today, we have a guest. He's a stand-up comedian from the Buffalo area, and it might be the first guest we don't know. He's not a friend. Well, he'll be a friend after. Yeah. But, we just hit him up. I saw him open up for Ron Futch's, it was a month ago.
A little bit around.
Yeah, and I like Ron Funches, but I thought Clayton was funnier than everybody.
Aww.
Yeah, you guys.
And I'm not just saying that because he's here. Like
you guys all said that. It was you, Puff, and Danny?
And Danny Garcia. Yeah.
Puff.
We all went. And it was, we enjoyed it. And it was like, you had like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I was doing a guest spot.
Yeah. And you just went away, and we were like, nah, bring that guy back.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, bring him back out. Thanks, man.
But it was funny, right away you put over wrestling immediately, and we were all like, well, we're the only wrestlers here. And nobody clapped except for us. It was us clapping, yeah. He was wearing the 6 Stone Cold with the snake arms.
With the snake arms. He told me that, and I've been talking about that shirt for 2 months.
Yeah.
We just, somebody randomly, I think it was me and Joel Coleman. We were just the Stone Cold Snake, everybody remembers the Stone Cold Snake arm shirt.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He wore it to the ring at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's the fuck. I remember seeing that shirt, and I was just like, that's the fucking coolest shirt I've ever seen in my life.
Everybody remembers
get
it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you still, is it like an old school one, or did you just recently find one?
I just recently found one.
That's I want to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. I follow so many fucking weird Instagrams for wrestling t-shirts, and they get bought up so quick, and I'm like, I don't want to spend $100 for a Mr. Ass shirt, but I might.
That's a good buy though. A Mr. Ass for $100.
I saw one.
Yeah.
My size for $20, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm buying it. I DM'd the dudes already sold. I was like, you just posted.
Dude,
that's how fast they go though.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm not in this world.
Oh, it's fucking nutty.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the back of the Stone Cold Snake Arm shirt?
Something about mercy. Or
really?
Yeah.
Way cooler.
Yeah.
Just says something really.
Yeah.
I have a buddy
about beating people up.
I have a buddy who does designs for him every once in a while now. Just for his pro wrestling tees store or whatever, and he gets to talk to him on the phone, and it's just yeah, what do you want? And he's just just give me something with skulls, you know what I like. And that's literally all he tells him, and then Brian just throws him stuff.
They had some of the best shirts too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, the original Austin 316 shirt with the small but then some people talk about that because the original one had a smoking skull on the back,
as every shirt should.
and then some of them don't or something. It's the difference.
I think the actual original one didn't, because when they were we just got to get this out.
It was just Austin 316.
Yeah, and then it blew up, and then they put the smoking skull on it.
And
how cool is the smoking skull?
It's fucking dope.
It just made me think of did you ever hear his Stone Cold tells a story where when he finally got over, and they were okay, I guess he'd been bugging them to make merch, but they wouldn't. And then after the King of the Ring stuff, they were all right, we'll start making some merch now. And he wanted to do a smoking skull, but I guess even Vince was that's kind of like the Undertaker stuff, and he had to go to the Undertaker and ask him if it was okay, and Taker was that's all right.
Hey, Mark is wrestling.
I know, exactly. That's
Mark,
exactly
can I have skulls in my stuff too?
Yeah, because if fucking Undertaker didn't like him, he could just be nah, sorry man, that's my stuff. All right.
I'm the skull guy.
Yeah.
I'm the dead man. I got stuff too. It's skulls.
And then, it was even probably before that. Was then, There was the
Ringmaster shirt.
Yeah, the Ringmaster with the $1 million belt. The Blood from a Stone, where it was a picture of his face with the blood. And it said Blood from a Stone on the back. That was fucking awesome.
There was a lot of
shit. Now I really want that shirt too.
That shirt just popped up on like one page, but I think that got sold too.
Yeah.
Like they're like seeing all these old T-shirts. A lot of them have to deal with blood coming from stones. Like the Rocks had to deal with blood from stones. Stone Cold's blood from stone. Like it's just like we heard something really fucking cool. Let's put it on all the shirts.
That was right now. Like we were talking off. Like I'm watching all the Nitros from 1997, and like we're covering them. But I had like the flu last week, and like was in bed for 4 days, and just went hard on Nitro. So like if we're at number 70, I'm on number 90.
Yeah, you're like so far ahead of the game, and
like that. The whole like Mortis Wrath Glacier run, they call it. It's called Blood Runs Cold. Like
really?
It's
like
a
great name.
Basically, like a story arc that they ran in the middle of like their thing, where like no one else is involved in it except for those three, and then James Vandenberg, like they're calling it Blood Runs Cold.
I love that.
Which is like a story arc inside of wrestling, which is really cool.
I dig that shit.
Yeah,
like it's fucking cool, especially around that time because it's all just NWO.
If you think the Brood song is cool, the Mortis and Wrath song is so sick.
Really?
It's so scary.
Really?
It's just like horror music.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Is it better than is it High Voltage that just comes out to the it's just like there's no music. It's just that noise.
Yeah.
And then it almost sounds like they're coming out to no music. And it's just lightning noise.
If you guys are wondering who High Voltage is, it's Robbie Rage and Kenny Chaos. The original power plant guys.
Yeah. But I totally back like I bought it was like WWE like volume 2 or something, like it had the Brood's music on it. I bought that. A bunch of us bought that CD it was the CD just for that. It had the Brood, and then it had the Insane Clown Posse, the Oddities song on it.
Oh yeah,
so a bunch of us. Yeah, that was like a big one.
I fucking loved like Luna Vachon. I still do.
Dude, same here.
Like I planned on just having a photo of Luna Vachon and a framed photo just in my apartment. Yeah. Just like when people see, like, that's just my aunt.
Yeah,
I just
she's
love
really
it.
Cool.
Yeah,
she's so fucking cool.
She was awesome.
She was sexy too.
Yeah,
in her own way.
If we're going into tug time,
she had it going on.
The Shawn Michaels time period,
dude.
They're both wearing leather chains and shit.
And then because she
just showed up in WCW Nitro where I'm at.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember her
in Alundra Blaze.
Medusa, yeah.
Dude.
I just
97.
Remember...
I'm going straight to tug time right now.
Yeah.
97 Medusa is doing things to me.
That's not when
I believe you.
That's not when she is. I remember. I think this is later. She came back to WCW and she had huge fake boobs. Oh, is this like that?
Yep.
Era?
American flag shit all over and stuff.
And I mean,
it is just like horny from like the minute her music hits. I'm ready. She's fucking awesome. And like it sucks because she only really had like they brought over Hakoda. Mm-hmm. They brought over the why can't I think right now? They brought over the two Crush girls.
Yeah.
Some really like Southern girl, like I mean, literally looks like an SL character with like a blonde wig, wearing an all gold outfit. I can't remember her fucking name.
And these are just all the girls that Medusa works.
Yeah, and there's there's a few, and then like there's apparently like a Bull Nakano match.
I was gonna say,
WCW?
Did she do anything in WCW?
Though. In '96, her and Bull like had like a feud, but then like she like literally didn't wrestle for a year, and she comes out and cuts a promo, and she's like, "I haven't wrestled in a year. Can you guys please do something about this? Like, I'm getting paid." Like I think she literally says that in the promo.
I think there's like I watched like her little documentary on the network. I
gotta watch. I didn't know it existed.
It's good. It came up out of nowhere. I was just like, oh shit, I'll watch that. And like you're right. I was like, I've never really thought of like Medusa being hot, and then watching like these. I was like, Yeah.
WCW time.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager.
After she threw away the belt and just decided to get giant jugs. And
and like grew, like she looks like a whole different wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, it's just insane.
She's great too.
Yeah.
She's just really good.
Well, I didn't watch the documentary, but I remember it was around like her Hall of Fame stuff. They played something for like, this is just badass. Like when she got her start when she was in Japan, I mean, she's like an American girl in Japan. Like, this is when women's wrestling isn't even like a thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, she would like live on a bus. Like, she would sleep on like just like a public bus. Cause like there was something where if you bought a ticket, you could just stay on or something.
Oh, shit.
And she would just literally sleep on the bus and like go to shows like
so
in
wild.
Japan. Like, this is probably like the 90s. Like, but I'm saying, like, you know, like as far as like a trailblazer, that's fucking insane.
yeah,
Like,
you
it's
watch
super
that
cool.
documentary, you're like, I want to watch these matches because she's like fucking going and her and Bull Nakano.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
It's funny to see Bull Nakano now
love
because
her.
she's so like a normal
my
person.
Big fan.
Dude, she's my favorite thing in the world. Like, her big is like sexy to me.
Oh yeah,
Like, everything about her.
yeah.
Her in an Napalm Death shirt, you couldn't like. Literally, like if it was Weird Science Andy Williams edition, like it would be a wrestling magazine.
Just a straight up pic.
Yeah, just a sort of thing. Bull Nakano would be like my Kelly LeBrock.
Just going into like that little like disc thing.
Yeah.
Just a picture of that.
And like she's like, "Do you want to take a shower?" And I'm in there with like underwear, and then she power bombs me. And I just start shooting cum. Like, that's it. Just a power bomb straight to coming. Just boner snow everywhere.
She just drops a sweet leg on you.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the best.
He
Why are you wearing
He
underwear?
literally just bought us matching Bull Nakano shirts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two of them.
Because she's like she always used to wear that like Joker shirt that just had the ha ha ha's on it. Well, someone made like bowl shirts that just say Nakano. Like,
Oh,
looks
shit,
like
that's
that Joker
dope.
shirt, but with her face.
It says Nakano, but then it looks like it's saying like no on the other side because she's
Yeah.
kind of. It's just it's fucking sweet.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
She's pretty sick.
So comedy.
I did want to say quick though, like you were talking about it. There's like a Alundra Blaze Bull Nakano match from like a Monday Night Raw in like the 90s.
They go hard,
and they're
Yeah.
it's just like Germans on the outside, and like Vince McMahon just has no idea how to. I think he's just talking about other stuff.
Yeah, he definitely
like
talks about something
it's
else.
like they're just going at it.
Vince
It's
doesn't
fucking
understand it because it's the cartoon era.
awesome. Oh
so
yeah, there's just
It's
just
like Mantar isn't in there.
exactly, and Bastion Booger and stuff.
yeah, like
It's not TL Hooper versus Mantar.
you love T.L. Hooper.
I'll always bring up the dirty white boy.
How do you bring wrestling like into comedy?
Wrestling has a lot of funny shit.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like, I don't know. I mean, because like even me, like I feel weird talking to people about wrestling, like especially if they don't ask. So like, do you get like a weird vibe when you just like throw that out there to a crowd?
It's kind of odd because like wrestling is like real prevalent in comedy now. Like, a lot of I think it's
more
just,
than it was before. I
like
can
the
see that.
age range where everyone like, and also wrestling is just like popular now again, but not it's not Attitude Era popular where
Yeah.
it's just like on Regis and Phil, but it's like everyone grew up through that and they're just like, yeah, I remember that, and now I can watch it and you can talk about it.
Cool.
And also comedy is like very similar to wrestling.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you've got like a finite amount of time to tell a story on and just get people to know who you are, and and like you got to get people to deal with your sensibilities and shit. Like I have like this limited amount of time to let you know that I jerked off to China.
Fuck, exactly.
And you got to be cool with it. Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like in a wrestling match. I'm trying to get my fucking finisher in, and you're like you said, you're just trying to let everybody know. Yeah, finishing it a different way. I fucking love that. Well, that's like That's why I was pumped to have you on, because like I always say, like wrestling, comedy, music, like any form of entertainment that if you're trying to make it in, like the path is all very similar. But even like say, like you're saying, like you go on stage and you have like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Like sometimes we have a match and we have 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and it's like, yeah, you want to use your time wisely.
Yeah.
And you know, it's and like, you know, comedians have bits, you know what I mean? Like we have high spots and moves, and guys have their quote unquote stuff. Like musicians, they have their songs, and they have, you know what I mean, choruses, and it's a lot of it's all very similar.
Yeah.
But then, like you're saying, like, yeah, like, I don't know, just like the similarities are all there.
No, I always tell, and like people, like some people who don't watch wrestling and comedy, and those people suck a lot of times.
Yeah.
No, because like if you're like, no, I think it's lame, you're like, you gotta understand that shit is just the same. We're both doing very similar things. And if you can't see that, then you're not good at comedy, and they usually aren't, because you got, at the very least, you have to have like a little passing glance of going like, yeah, it's fun, like just enjoy
having an understanding of it.
Yeah, because at the very least, wrestling's just fucking fun. Yeah. And just like, it's cool. Even if you want to go, this shit's silly, but like, you're watching a spectacle. Yeah. Like, enjoy that shit.
Just appreciate it for what it is.
Anyone that, like, I feel like anyone that is always, like, not on the fence, but like, you get like naysayers and like, you do that wrestling thing, and it's like, yeah, I do. It's fucking awesome. And then it's like, come to a show. You know what I mean? Like, that's. It's like, and I feel like that's in comedy too. It's like, it's one thing to watch, you know, Louis C.K. do fucking Madison Square Garden, right? Which is like insane that one guy can sell out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking.
Right? But then like going to Helium and just seeing dudes, not only like, I feel like it's like a hungry thing. It's like independent wrestling where like, for us, you know, like as a young Kevin Bennett comes in here, Greenhorn.
Buffalo's HBK.
Buffalo's HBK.
Buffalo's HBK just cut in.
You know, like, you see things like, you have the opportunity, like, let's say Ricochet comes to Buffalo. You know what I mean? Kevin Bennett's going to work him. You know what I mean? And
that's what's so fucking cool.
That's Kevin Bennett's chance to like go, oh, I'm gonna kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I think like in comedy it's kind of the same thing. Like, oh, this big name's coming in. Oh, I'm like the local guy on the thing. Well, fuck. I have 5 minutes. I gotta make every minute count.
Yeah.
And to go back to wrestling, you have to learn how to work a crowd. You can't just go out there and do nothing. Oh, can I have the chocolate one?
Yeah. Kevin Bennett offering up Tootsie Roll Pops.
Oh yeah.
You like the chocolate ones?
Thank you.
I'm just kind of feeling this right now. Like I feel like nobody likes the chocolate or the chocolate or the licorice one. No one ever. It's always like the weirdest one.
Is it black licorice?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oof, that is weird. I love it. You're like, no one likes it because it's weird.
But like in Europe, when you go to Europe, they give you like, you'll get like a bowl of like candy. Like I'm talking about, I'm a rock musician, so we get a little rider, and like you'll get like the bowl of candy, and there's always like salty black licorice in it.
Oh,
and no one ever eats it, so I'm like, oh fuck, I'll eat this. It's weird. And like the salt on a black licorice is like the weirdest thing in the world. Anyways, let's getting back to is like working a crowd. Like in wrestling, you know when a crowd is up.
Yep.
And it's like, if you're doing something like in the corner, or you're doing something and the crowd's like reacting to it, we'll just do it and beat on it until the crowd's like, okay, that's not cool anymore. Then it's time to move to the next thing, you know, like whether it's like chopping a dude or something like that. We're like, there's a cadence to a crowd, and like playing live, like in a rock band, it's like a different thing where like you play a song and it's like, oh, we don't have them. Like with this song, we got to go hard on this next song. Yeah. So like writing a set list is kind of like, it's like a predetermined, like, we know the crowd's going to go nuts for this one song, so let's play a fucking weird one before it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like now you're
real far away from me.
You're the comedian here, so like I'm not trying to act like I know what I'm talking about. But I saw Bill Burr's one of my guys, and I saw him once, and I thought it was kind of cool because you could tell he was working on something new. It was like a bit where he was like rating like genocide and like killers.
Yeah.
And he was doing it. I can't remember Klein Hands. Is that a venue around here? It was there, and like he was doing it, and he literally was just like the crowd, like people were not into it. It was just kind of silent, and you could tell that he was just like, I think he literally just went like, you guys really aren't that into this, and then he just went off into something else. Then which I thought was weird because his special came out, and he still put that in the special. Yeah,
and it's the same reaction, which I thought was like so funny.
He tried it in Buffalo, and it didn't work at all. But then he totally could tell, and he just went off in a different direction and got him right back.
Yeah.
So, but like, I mean, you know, musicians can, like Andy just said, musicians can do the same thing. Wrestlers can do the same thing. Like, it's cool that like you guys, it's all the same shit.
Yeah,
you know
we can just you read the room a lot of times, and it sucks going first a lot of with shows, like with anything really, because you don't know how the room is, you don't know how people are going to react, you don't know where they're coming from or anything, and you kind of want to tiptoe into it sometimes, which with anything, and so it is nice when you build a rapport if you know how you're like know what you're doing offhand, where you have something that opens up where like I'm not like a weirdo, but you get where I'm coming from, and that way like you're comfortable with me going like, I'm gonna say this weird fucking thing later. You're gonna be cool with it, and you're gonna like me because I've said it, or you like understand what I'm doing. It's fucking fun though.
That like now, like how are things for you? Like, do you like, I don't know, like in wrestling we call it like cold matches, where it's like basically like, let's say it's like Braxton Sutter versus Kevin Bennett, but like the crowd, like basically the crowd has no idea who we are, so we have to establish who the good guy is, who the bad guy is, and it's like, you know, hopefully by the end of it you got them. Like, do you do a lot of that around here? By now, like, do you have like an audience who kind of like knows who you are?
That happens with just being a local guy and people knowing you, and you being a standout in to like a different show, or like some people will give you more leeway. Like I've found that in some places where someone knows me, or like people have met me in the crowd and they're like way more comfortable with me than, let's say, someone else who's coming on the show and they don't know you at all. And there is that, it is harder because you guys are dealing with the fact that you have to change the whole dynamic without anyone knowing, and you're having to sell this story going out. And you have ways of doing that a little bit better. You can just be like, fuck this kid, or blah, 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 or do something if you want to be a heel. But especially for the baby, it's got to be fucking super hard, because you got to want people to care about what you're doing.
The babyface always has to look cool. Like, you know, heels can fuck up and it's all right.
Exactly, because then you can just have that be a character trait.
Exactly.
And that's got to be super hard for, like, with comedy, it's...
Yeah, you're just talking.
Yeah, there are people who are just talking, though. Like, there are a lot of people who are just talking, and they're not doing anything. And they're relying on I think it is similar to wrestling, where it's like, they're relying on these things that they know are funny ideas to work, just like kind of like someone doing like, oh, I know how to do a 450 splash on something, and like you'll just think because that's cool, it's flashy, it's like saying fuck during a set. It's like it's going to be loud and it's going to be like what? But it's not. It means nothing at the end of the day if we didn't set anything up. It doesn't even make sense for you to like if you just get up and just do it. Like it doesn't make any sense.
You have a 6-minute match. You can't just do a 450. That's you know what I mean. Like you said, you can't just go out there and just swear and that's it. Like
it doesn't work. Like some people will be like, I saw something cool, and it's the same thing as like I heard a swear word and I laughed at that for a very quick moment, but then you're just like, I don't care, or I don't remember. Like it, if you do well, like on any like form, if you know what you're doing, or if you're doing the right thing, people remember you, and you get that like leeway. Like the fact that people recognize me sometimes, or just they're like, yeah, I love, or come to a show because I'm doing the show. That's so different than just being like, I'm here and I'm performing and it's whatever. And like building, you have to build it up with people who don't know you.
Yeah. I think it's fucking awesome, like what you just said, because like like wrestling, they say the same thing. Like with me, like trying to train some of the guys around here and stuff, it's like that's. You know, as far as like a money-making tool, it's like, you know, you can go out and do a bunch of flashy moves and you get people like, and like 1, 2, kick out, but it's like, getting them to like, I don't think invest is the word I'm looking for, but like you're saying, that, because then the match ends and they're like, oh, I just saw something cool. Or the match ends and they're like, holy shit, like, who is that guy? I want to go buy his t-shirt, or I'm going to find him on Twitter or Instagram, and I'm going to, like, follow his, you know, where is he?
Like, the difference is, like...
Yeah, is he wrestling here again next month? Or, like, like I said, that goes such a longer way.
You can start the match with a 450. And be like, oh, shit, that was flashy. But, like, it meant nothing because it was, like, literally in the beginning of the match where, like, if the match just goes, boom, 450 is, like, the big spot.
You build it,
And then people are just like, holy shit. You have them at the edge of your seat, and then the 450 comes, and it's like, holy fuck, he needed to do that to beat that guy. Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful. Like, I was watching, like, this video with Al Snow, like, talking to, people in like a class or whatever.
Yeah,
and he was just
there's a bunch of them, but
yeah,
I've seen,
and he's just like, you don't have a finisher. You like just all these guys talking about they have finishers. He's like, you don't have a finisher, and then he just like lays out a match, and it's like so fucking good, and it's not flashy sounding at all, and it's just like you do the figure four and you have an elbow and you're working his leg, and so you're trying to stop him from being able to put on the figure four, and then you decide to cheat to get out of it, and then you're setting up, and then you set up for that next one, and you're like, yeah, that's fucking dope. Like, you want to hear that story and you care about that shit, and you're like, okay, that was like fucking cool. And he didn't say anything crazy. I didn't hear anything about fucking moonsaults or doing something crazy or exactly. And I think about that a lot in like comedy and doing shows where you're just like, I've watched so many people who are like, I got a funny shirt and I wear this shirt, or I have to wear a funny thing every time I perform because otherwise no one's gonna know that I'm funny. And then I gotta say my dick, and then everyone loses their shit, and you're like, yeah, and then you're like, no one knows who you are. No one remembers you. Like this sounds like fucking lame. Like, or it's not lame, but it sounds like I'm being like I'm a fucking cool dude. But I was at NXT Brooklyn last year, and I'm in like a beer line.
Was it Takeover or was it? Just,
Takeover.
Sweet.
And I'm in a beer line, and a dude recognized me. And he was like dressed like Kenny Omega, and I was like, what the fuck? And it's so far from Buffalo, and he's like, dude, I fucking seen you. And I'm like, that's the coolest shit in the world. But I know dudes who are like, yeah, people laugh, but no one's gonna fucking come up to you at a wrestling event in Brooklyn, not even where you are, and say, hey, I remember you. Because no one remembers the dude who said dick, because a bunch of people can say dick.
Because there's a couple of them. Yeah, that's fucking great.
I had something, but I forgot it. We play this place. We always play this. Oh, fuck, what is it called? It's in Kingston, Ontario, and it's. We always play this comedy club, and we played there. Fuck, I mean, almost every time we've ever played Kingston, we've played there, and it's called. It's not now. That's Class, because that's in Cleveland. Anyways, yeah, but it's an old comedy club, and like. Just like you said, like seeing all the 8x10s from like the 80s and 90s, it's like
cool.
It's like, hey, this guy with a rubber chicken, and it's a guy wearing a weird hat, and the other guy's wearing a weird shirt, like, and it's amazing. Like, it is so funny because like I'd love to see those guys set. Like, what are they talking about?
I love that because I like when I started. It was the era of...
When did you start?
I started...
Let's give some people some stats.
Yeah. That's cool.
I started comedy 6 years ago, so like 2012. And I remember that was when everyone had a comedy hoodie and everyone wants to be like this dude. And I love thinking about the dress code for comedy. Yeah. And it's so like you said, it's just... There used to be guys with blazers and suspenders because I'm a comedian. And then it got into everyone wanting to wear a black t-shirt because Louis wore a black t-shirt, and then everybody wants to look like a dude, so they all have their comedy hoodies and stuff, and it's just so fucking funny to see all these guys do all the like the traits that trends. They think like it reminds me of like when like the Hardy Boys were like really popular, and
everybody started buying their geared Hot Topic.
Exactly, and so you see a lot of wrestlers who just have like sleeves and shit.
The like, straight egg, like Jinko jeans.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just like funny to see that all that comes together when you're doing like entertainment. Like, I think this is the costume I need for all the things I do.
Yeah, there was it? I heard. I think maybe Rogan said it. He was goofing around with somebody. They said like in the 90s, the big thing was every comedian wore. It was like that button-down shirt. Like you get it at Hot Topic. It was like a button-down shirt and it was collared, short sleeve, and it had flames on it.
Yeah.
They're like every comedian had that
just
fucking
shitty
shirt.
Bowling shirts.
Yeah, they got either the bowling shirt or the fucking flame shirt. Exactly. Everybody.
The Guy Fieri.
Yeah. Yeah. It is the Guy Fieri.
Yeah. There you go. But then, like you said, wrestlers the Hardy Boys stuff got big for a while. So it was like, oh, we don't need actual wrestling gear. We can just go to the mall and buy our stuff. Or even like styles. Like everyone always said, like for a long time, like everybody wanted to be low key on the indies. Like Ricochet is kind of the guy right now. There's always like, trends of people just want to like something they're trying to emulate. Yeah. So it's funny to hear like comedy the same shit, especially the dress code.
It's so like, just watching that, and because I've grown up in like just watching comedy and wrestling and all these just little things, you just like, man, it's so funny that everyone has to like abide by this thing that they like.
One thing, no, but I mean, a lot of people did, but I think you should start coming out in Chronic's run-out gear.
He loves Chronic's, Chronic's like promo gear.
Like a mock turtleneck, like velvet shirt that's like super tight.
Sunglasses
sunglasses that just follow your eyes.
Super tight around your head.
I fucking love that. Like
cut your beard down to just like a tiny line. Just a couple tiny lines. And just be real serious.
Skin tight, black, like legit spandex t-shirt.
Oh, I think I'm into that.
Black boots.
Black jeans.
Full high tech.
They're out there. I have a pair that I wear. Only because I love Chronic.
Yeah.
So much.
There are some sweet matches where like one guy from Chronic who's wrestling comes out in his gear, and then the other one comes out like in like their fucking promo gear.
They're so fucking cool.
It's awesome.
And like Brian Adams just straight up has Waylon Mercy hair.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything because he had a tiny goatee under it. Yeah. And he was wearing sunglasses that literally just followed the bone of his eye.
That was the coolest thing he had ever seen in his life. And he said, I'm doing this shit right now.
But can you, because I kind of like, because the Wrath thing, I'm super into Wrath right now. And Wrath, I swear he threw the first pump kick.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
I mean, 1997, Brian Clark threw a fucking pump. 6'6", Brian Clark threw a pump kick across the ring and destroyed it, dude. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And then his finisher got him super over, too. The pump
meltdown.
It was the pump handle power slam, right?
No. He didn't do that yet. He was doing this, like, weird, like... He had like an arm triangle and uranagi where he would put the guy around like this and then he'd bring him up and boom, he would like rock bottom him. But because he was fucking Brian Clark and he was so sick, he was taking him to the heavens and smashing him into the fucking hell.
Well, when he started doing the pump handle, that got him.
Oh, that's Chronic, dude.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Well, he had a singles run before that where he was using that as a finisher.
Because he tore dude, I'm so in on... God, I'm going to cry because I think like right at the start of 98, he tears his ACL and he gets put on the shelf. But that's the catalyst for Chronic.
And then is that when they came back with Chronic?
Yeah. They're like, okay, this guy's knee's shot. Brian Adams' back is shot. We'll put them together. Chronic, they like weed.
Which I still like. I mean, it wouldn't surprise. I really don't feel like neither of those guys liked weed.
They didn't.
There's no way.
They were not.
I think it was just like because
it was popular at the
weed
time.
is cool. Yeah, like blacklight weed posters.
God, I love WCW's like logic for so much shit.
Yeah, it's like funny because he's
two gigantic. Jacked up guys with the weed gimmick.
Yeah, they're so about weed. Look at this guy.
It's obvious.
I feel like you and I have similar taste in music, or wrestling, where it's like, I just liked sick wrestling.
Yeah.
So like I watched Nitro and I watched Raw. You were like strictly
WWF.
a WWF guy. Yeah. Where like I can like go and I'm just like, dude, Nitro is like WWF was like. I feel like WWF is like when you hear the cool dudes in New York blowing coke. I'm going here. I got an analogy. So like movies kind of like Boiler Room. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Where like, these dudes are party guys, man. They drive nice cars.
Yeah.
They're snorting coke.
There's money. Blah, sounds like money.
WCW is like Trespass. Anything was going. It was just like what was the movie with Adam Sandler and it was like an action movie like Adam Sandler
Bulletproof?
Wayans, yeah. Like that, not Trespass, like that where it's just like, hey, Sandler, he's real funny. Let's put him in an action movie. Let's put these two dudes in an action movie. Boom, it's the Wild West.
Anything can happen.
By the way, like side note, I love that like in the mid 90s, the Wayans were trying to become action heroes for so hard.
Yeah.
Like Keenan Ivory Wayans had like 3 action movies that he starred in. It was
Solo.
One was with Seagal.
No, that Solo was Mario Van Peebles, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's America's Wanted.
Yeah.
Or no, it was Most Wanted, Low Down Dirty Shame, and then the Glimmer Man with Steven
Glimmer
Seagal.
Man was Seagal. That's where he keeps saying grasshopper the whole time.
Yeah.
He calls him grasshopper. Yeah, it's great. Fuck, if I'm about Low
But
Down
that's
Dirty
what I mean.
Shame.
Like it was just like it's a while where anything can happen in WCW. So it was just like you tell people, you're just like, oh, I just watched a match with like we said earlier, like it was Bobby Eaton versus Rey Mysterio. Mm-hmm. And people are just like,
that happened.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So my friends got me into watching Nitro because I watched WWF religiously.
My buddy did the same thing.
And then my friends, and they would go like, dude, there's something weird happening. And I'm like, what do you mean something weird? And then they would just flick it on. I'm just like, that's something weird. Like, there's Chucky on TV right now for whatever fucking, and he's like in a feud with someone. Like,
RoboCop came to the ring? Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny about it is that they were winning. Like, it's hilarious that they were winning and they were still doing that shit. Like, they didn't rest on their laurels of like nothing. Like, you know what? Let's keep bringing weird shit out. Like, I keep thinking about like thinking about back to like the Shockmaster, and I also want to know what did they think was going to happen with that.
I loved it.
I think it's amazing.
Let's take away the board and the falling. Like, it looked terrible.
Yeah.
Like, even if he just burst through that wall,
it's still
I
just
feel
a
like
helmet.
it would still be the worst thing in the world. Like, he's wearing a sparkle helmet, and like Dusty's like story about it is just insane. Where he's just like literally one of his kids, Cody, like had a stormtrooper helmet, and they were just like, put sparkles on it.
I went as Shockmaster like 2 Halloweens ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I have a picture of it.
Tom Lawler. Did you ever see Tom Lawler? Tom Lawler, the UFC fighter. Like,
yeah.
Did it at a weigh-in.
Yeah.
And he fell too,
fucking great.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
So fucking
Like at a legit MMA weigh-in.
Yeah. Like UFC, like if you're his boss, what do you think? Like,
just like
whatever. At least he didn't punch a dude right now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's all they can do is just like,
Yeah.
no one got kicked or called the N-word. I don't give a like whatever.
You want to wear this helmet as some kind of inside joke? All right, man. Sounds good, dude. Whatever.
I love thinking about those gimmicks, like the gobbledygooker. What the fuck was that going to be? Like, were people going to pop for the gobbledygooker?
Or like the Goon?
Yeah,
they're just like, well, hey, check it out. We're hockey's in a what is it called? A strike.
It was a strike, right?
So we need a wrestler that's going to come out on boots that emulate skates, and it's going to be Cowboy Bob Irwin. Cowboy Bill Irwin. Sorry.
Did you ever hear like the story too? Like Jericho is convinced that they wanted him to be the Goon.
Oh my god,
that's fucking awesome.
That is so cool.
We're probably gonna post. Can we post that?
Yes.
As like the picture of this podcast
Absolutely.
is up. Okay. It's gonna be Clayton Williams as the Shockmaster with no shirt on and a sparkly helmet.
like it was so just on paper.
Yeah.
Like, we have a little thing that we call like on paper, so we'll break things down.
Okay.
Or you're just reading it, and then someone just pulls the trigger on it. So like on paper, Dusty had to have written it down at some point. He's like, "Yep, it's gonna be Fred Ottman. We're gonna give him a pair of husky blue jeans.
Yep.
Not like even a cool." The husky blue jeans, like the weird one that kind of like might have a button, might not.
Yeah,
there might be like elastic band. We're gonna put a rope around it, right? But we're also gonna have this fur vest and then a sparkly stormtrooper helmet,
just covered in sparkles.
The fucking shock,
and just the excitement of it. And he's like, "I'm telling you right now, it's going to be fucking amazing. You just wait. Oh my god, he's going to take on Sid."
It's on paper, and then someone was like, "Yeah." Okay.
My favorite part of that whole thing, though, is like the interview on Flair for the Gold. So, like, Flair's talking, and Sid is just standing in front of everybody with his back turned. Like, they're all trying to talk, and Sid's big-ass body is taking up the entire camera angle. And, like, Sting is trying to announce, like, we are going to shock the world. Sid is just, like, looking off the thing, and then you hear Flair go, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, on microphone.
I heard,
damn it.
I heard you can hear British Bulldogs start laughing in the background, too.
Which is
goes like, just
There's
laughing.
so many, like, funny reactions, like when he breaks through and you hear the all right, and they're like, oh man.
Can you imagine being on the other side? Like, you're producing, right? So, like, Dusty was, like, obviously, like, one of the producers at the time. He was, like, calling the shots, and he's like, oh, here we go. And then, like, dude falls, and it's like...
It's over. It's just, everything is
It sucks, because they put it on that guy.
Yep.
So, like, it was no one else's fault except for Fred Ottman.
Didn't Shockmaster, like, talk, too?
Yeah, it was,
like a dubbed over
Arn Anderson's voice. Yeah.
Dubbed over or something.
That's another layer of it where it's just like, so Arn Anderson has to do every single promo and then he has to record all this if he has a fucking like feud with this guy.
Yeah.
Like that's the funny, and it's just him talking to himself back. It's like, what did you guys think was going to like?
Yeah, and that poor guy, like they bring him in, and then they have to just go to him being like a bumbling workman, like a handyman.
Is that what they did with
him? Dropping like
tools and shit.
Oh, really?
And it's so funny because he didn't have tools to begin, and they're just like, well, this is what you are now.
You're a bumbly handyman.
Yeah, you're like an electrician.
I didn't know that.
Why would an electrician be on a ring?
Yeah.
There's zero electricity on the ring.
Yeah.
Except for high voltage.
Yeah, exactly. When they come to the ring with that zappy
wonderful blood.
Yeah, that's Kenny Chaos. That's the electricity you're feeling.
I actually really wanted to get back to that 90s action movie talk.
Oh, dude.
Like I was like real into Damon Wayans back then, and then like Last Boy Scout was like awesome.
Yeah,
and I like
because it was Tony Scott.
Tony Scott. I'm on Bruce Willis
and what's Shane Black wrote
Shane
it.
Black, yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't know. And that was Shane Black.
He's a genius.
He's the one writing the new Predator, right?
Yep.
And he was in Predator, right? He's the dude with the glasses.
Yeah.
He did Nice Guys, which is
that's amazing.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So Nice Guys was great. And they're doing.
So you're a movie guy too.
Oh, I love movies, man.
This is awesome.
Yeah,
I fucking love
like
movies.
now because you got me rolling on the Keenan Ivory Wayans action movies. There was Glimmer Man. I forgot about Low Down Dirty Shame. Yeah, he tried like a bunch.
Yeah, Most Wanted.
What was America's Most Wanted?
He was like a. They're always
Was it
like
just him.
Yeah, it's just he was like an ex-military guy who was framed, and I remember I've seen that movie, but I remember seeing the trailer for it in theaters so much because it was just like they played that trailer so much, and it just ends with like Keenan Ivory Wayans jumping out of a window, and it goes Most Wanted.
There
You're
go.
like, yeah, I want to see that bastard.
There we go.
It was awesome. I love that you brought up Solo with Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
I remember I watched a lot of MTV back then, and they were like hyping the shit out of Solo.
Yeah.
And, like Mario Van Peebles was on like everything.
Dude, remember Posse?
Yeah,
I never saw it.
Oh my god,
It's a Western. It's a Western, right?
Yeah. Bill Fishman, the dude that like directed one of our videos.
Yeah,
and he did like tape heads like back in the day with Tim Robbins and John Cusack.
Was it good?
It's okay.
Yeah.
But like he told me this, like, I don't know if this is depressing or not, because you went from like tape heads with Tim Robbins and John Cusack to like doing probably one of the biggest bombs. Like Posse was like not like they put a shit ton of money into that movie and then it just did not translate.
No.
And then you're doing an Every Time I Die video. So like like obviously, like, as soon as I found out that he did like tape heads, I started like freaking out. I'm asking a million questions because I love Cusack, so I'm asking a million questions. And then that day ended up being John Cusack's birthday, and he's like,
"Oh shit,
you want to wish him a happy birthday?" I was like, "Sure." And like I remember we were sitting at a gas station. I had like a full my role in that thing was like we were all transitioning into werewolves.
Oh.
So I had like claws on and like fake fur on my face and stuff like that. And I'm like, Bill Fishman calls John Cusack, "Hey, happy birthday, bud," blah, blah, blah. And they're like talking, and then he hands the phone over to me, and I start talking to John Cusack.
Hey,
like,
man.
"Hey, happy birthday." And he's like, "Oh, so you're like in a band?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then like, he's like, "Well, what do you guys sound like?" And like, I knew he kind of knew some punk stuff, so I was like, kind of like Black Flag. He's like, "Oh, I love Black Flag," and we started like talking Black Flag, and it was like wild. And then I was like, I gotta go. Like I just couldn't, like, my brain wasn't handling it anymore. Like I was talking to John Cusack on the phone, But I remember like talking to Bill Fishman, about that, and like, dude, he was in LA Weekly the month before Tapeheads came out. and it was the first time and maybe only time they ever did, like, they do a director of the month or something like that.
Okay.
And it was the only time they ever did a split one, and it was because it was with Tim Burton. So it was Bill Fishman and Tim Burton, and he had tape heads coming out, and Burton had Big Adventure, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure coming out.
Shit.
So, like, they were, like, both, like, the director of the month or whatever like that. And it was like, fuck, man. Like, and I'm feeling awful for this guy. Like, just, like, you went from, like, being in LA Weekly as, like, director of the month.
Thanks for doing our video.
With Tim Burton, like, I hope this, like, $7,000 we're giving you is, like, sick.
Worth your time. I didn't know you were that big of, like, a John Cusack guy.
I love him.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, that's, like...
Early ones, like Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer.
I like, that's... Like nothing. He's just like he's always been a guy that like doesn't do anything for me.
Really?
Yeah. Like Laura's like Laura thinks he's like hot.
I could watch.
And, like super into him. It's like
that was a chick.
Because what was it? And then like what was one of his recent ones? It was like Room something.
Oh, 1408.
Yeah. Like I like. Oh, he did the remake of The Raven. Like I like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it just.
Wish it was Raven's Flock. But yeah, like those like early like High Fidelity. I could watch High Fidelity like 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
And it never gets old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can go talking about action movies.
Sorry.
The other day we were at the gym
segue.
and Out for Justice was on, which is one of my all-time favorites. Seagal movies.
We always talk. Like when I was a kid, like the big thing about Seagal movies was like usually there was like a big fight between the two guys at the end, and Seagal would always just kick the fucking shit out of the guy.
Yeah.
And the guy never had a chance.
No,
Yeah.
like just
it would be
destroyed him.
brutal. Like Glimmerman,
Like a
the
squash.
final guy. Exactly.
Yeah.
He just kicks this dude's ass so bad, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, and then he just kicks a guy off, and he lands on a spiked gate, and I'm like, that's overkill. Like,
that was a point in time where every bad guy got
Impaled.
because and marked for death.
He throws it on the elevator shaft.
Yeah, dude gets impaled. Like, remember, like Bill Stradler was the bad guy in. Oh my god, this is gonna kill me.
Is it a Seagal movie?
Yes.
It's not Out for Justice.
No.
Because
He's the politician at the end that's in the closet, and he fucking sticks a shotgun into his mouth.
oh my god, yeah.
Like breaks all of his teeth
Is that
out.
Hard to Kill?
Hard to Kill.
Yeah, because that grossed me out so
he plays
bad.
Gino Marino. That's his name.
when he slams the shotgun and dudes about that grossed me out so bad when I was a kid.
Teeth broken.
Yeah, that fucking.
And then that's
really
the one
grossed me
where
out.
he just like walks into a mall and just starts snapping dudes' arms.
That's Marked for Death.
Is it?
Yeah, because he beats the shit out of the Jamaican dudes.
I thought,
literally
it could be any movie.
Yeah,
It really does describe because that's all it is him just coming in and like slapping and flipping people in
He
public.
might have just been beating up normal people.
Yeah.
That we're just standing there. Because if anyone is listening to this and you do a keto, you don't do anything. Like the keto is like right now I could toss a keto move on one of you guys right now because all it is me touching you and then you falling.
And me doing a cartwheel.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's it. He's just in a mall and like some old lady's like, she's just doing a flip and her arm is breaking.
Falling down the stairs.
Yeah. Like, oh shit. Like, did you just see what you just did? Then he's just like, fuck you.
It was
like,
really,
that's all it is.
It was really unrealistic, is what it was.
I don't know, man.
I love, like, especially later Steven Seagal movies where he's just doing them with rappers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Exit Wounds with him and DMX
Awesome.
is the fucking best.
Dude,
And,
I like, you're talking about around the mouth goatee stuff.
yeah.
Trying to hide that double chin.
Again, starting to put on a lot of weight.
Yeah, he's great.
And when he's also a cop, like in New Orleans.
Like an actual police officer.
Have you ever watched that show?
No.
It's fucking hilarious.
I saw a side,
Really?
like, some.
I never
I didn't
watched
see
it.
much.
Because he would try to be like cool and he would try to use all this like slang, like, say
'Cause it's
Daddy
like-
Blow, what you doing? Like,
Yeah, I did see him doing a little bit of that. Yeah, when he would like show up at the scene, all of a sudden he would just start talking differently.
Yeah, you're
it's
like, where did this guy come from? You're like, you don't want to be doing drugs, jive. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, dude. Like, you've been a cop in New Orleans this long.
like he's not like the show's funny, but it's like him not trying to be funny at all. Like dead
He
serious.
takes his life very seriously.
Wearing those like yellow like paintball glasses all the time and shit.
I remember when he used to just be a UFC guy. Like he used to come down with all UFC fighters, and then he would like these dudes would just be like, yeah, and then like he'd be sitting there and like, yeah, I taught him that maneuver that won him that fight. Like I remember when Anderson like knocked Randy Couture's teeth out. on that
Machida.
No, but it was Vitor Belfort.
Oh yeah, because there was two. He tried to do it twice.
Yeah, and he said he taught him that move.
Yeah. And then I think it was because he did that, with Machida, and he did that with Silva.
I think he was paying these UFC fighters, like, can I come out with you? I'll pay you this amount of money, like a sponsor, which is pretty genius.
I would love it.
So, think about that. Like, you're a fighter, and then Steven Seagal's like, okay, listen, I'm going to give you $10,000 just to have me walk out with you so people think I'm relevant.
Yeah. And
in this fight world.
That would be awesome.
I heard a story, he tried taking credit for, like, both of those wins.
Yeah.
And then I think it was John Jones. I'm not positive, but there's somebody where he showed up in somebody's locker room and they were like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like, they are like, I think it was because like you're not taking credit.
I told you, did I ever tell the story about him showing up for like, so I had a buddy who worked for Gibson.
Yeah, I don't know if he told us on the podcast or not, but it's awesome.
Insane.
It's awesome.
My buddy like worked for Gibson for like a really long time, and like he was an artist relations guy, so like the Black Crows played at like one venue in LA, and then Warren Hayes was playing in another place. Okay. And they were both like Gibson guys or whatever. Yeah. So, but they're also blues or whatever, right? So, Steven Seagal is actually like a really good guitar player, and he has like one of the gnarliest guitar collections on earth.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Like thousands of
They had him play on that show.
Oh,
like his band?
Oh, of course.
They played a bunch of gigs, right?
He did the Out for Justice theme song.
Oh, shit, really?
Like, he did the soundtrack. The only reason why I know that is because we tracked our drums in the same place he tracked that, and I freaked the fuck out. Like, I remember walking in, there was just, like, right when you walk in the front door, there's an Out for Justice, like, poster, and I remember being like, yo, why is this here? Are you like a Steven Seagal fan? And the guy's like, no, man, he like recorded the music for that. I was like, like that's it, like, and then the guy's like, well, we did some other stuff, and then he started like naming like all this shit. He's like, like Fleetwood Mac and blah. I'm just like,
that Steven Seagal.
Yeah,
but yeah, like, so apparently he showed up to the Warren Haynes thing, and Jimmy was there, and someone goes, yo, Steven Seagal's outside saying that he's playing tonight with Warren Haynes. Do you want to go handle this? And like Jimmy walks out, and he's like, hey, what's up? And, blah, blah, blah. Steven Seagal says, yeah, I'm playing tonight. I'm going to need, and then he goes, I'm going to need a 68 Les Paul Custom. I'm going to need this one Fender amp. And it's like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of shit. So Jimmy's like, hang on one second. He goes into Warren Haynes, says, is Steven Seagal like playing with you tonight? He says he's like going to do like a spot, like a guest spot with you. And he goes, no, I don't even know the guy. So like he goes, hey, we're going to have to cut that. Like we don't have enough time. He took like the nice political way or whatever. So then like the days going by, now he has to go do the Black Crow stuff, and he goes down and he's there and he's inside, and like someone goes, hey man, like Steven Seagal's outside, like saying he's playing with the Black Crows tonight, like do you want to go with him? He's like, fuck, I gotta tell this guy to fuck off. And he's like getting hard, but he's trying to get like people with him, like a crew, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna like, let's go out there. And then like they go out all hard, and there's like a crew of them, and Jimmy's like, listen man, you gotta leave us the fuck alone. And like apparently like he was carrying stuff at the time, and he just put him down on the ground, and then Jimmy like was like, immediately like started backing up. He looked and everybody was gone. Like he was just standing there by himself and had to deal with like Seagal and like, listen man, you're not playing tonight, blah blah blah, like you're not like blah blah blah, and like calm them down enough to not like break his fucking arm in the middle of like sunset.
I don't know what to tell you about that.
Like, what? And he just snaps his arm like, fuck, okay, why?
That was like you hear stuff about like actors used to like make, like especially big actors would make like demands and stuff. Like there's no way like every script they wrote for him involved him just beating the fuck out of the guy at the end. Like that was probably Seagal was just like, I have to just fucking completely squash this guy at the end of the movie.
And then it just became where I forgot what I was like, who was telling the story, but they were describing this like scene they had choreographed, and they were like, are you going to do this? And you're going to move around? And he said, oh, what if I just sit I'm sitting in a chair and they're all attacking me, and I'm just taking them out, and I'm like, that's fucking ballsy. And then I've seen that scene, and I was like, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Of just him in giant coats swinging his arms.
You just like took this movie from like semi-realistic to just like out the window because you're sitting in a chair just fending people off.
If you guys are, obviously, I hope someone listens to this. Anyone in Bolton, Ontario, the people that listen to us, look up his like Aikido demonstrations.
And the one in Russia is
they're like
fucking
dead
incredible.
Serious. There's like 4 or 5 of them on there. And
the ones in front of thousands of people. Yeah. It's like a stadium.
And like all it is just people running at them with their arms like already fed at him like, oh, he's gonna throw me with my right arm.
And I think there's like an applause every time you like fend somebody off.
And like you'd think that of like a big fat guy posing as a Native American is like standing in the middle. Yeah. Wouldn't you just beat him with a stick? Like there's 9 of you. Just attack him. Yeah. He's gonna be out of wind immediately.
He showed up tired.
Yeah, exactly. He put his gear on and was like, all right, I got this. Like he was tightening up his around the mouth goatee and was out of wind. Oh, Steven Seagal, I love you.
I'm going to total segue here, but can we talk more about helium in Buffalo?
Yeah, I was going to get to that when we were talking about like crummy like outfits that dudes wear. Yeah. Like it kind of is cool that like helium exists because helium makes sense. Yeah. When you hear like, oh, helium, okay, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like it's a funny thing. Yeah. But it's not like funny in the world. Like you have to put helium in your body to like make it sound funny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like yucks. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like
or Chuggle House or something.
Yeah. Like everything is just like
real bad ones.
Like yucks was always like, I get it, but what an awful name for a place. Yeah. And it totally reminds me of that 8x10 with like a rubber chicken.
Yeah, exactly. It's like perfect. Yeah. Underneath the marquee is the guy with the chicken. I love that like there is a helium in Buffalo now. Yeah. Like, I mean, before there was nothing.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
I love it because before it was.
You literally just got done there like a couple hours ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
It's the best, especially like when I started, they had just finished it and it was built, and like the way the comedy scene is now, where when I started there was like 2 open mics, and now there's a mic every week and people get.
Is it open every night?
Helium is not open every night, but like just everywhere has like a mic now.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And so you can do stuff, and then like more people have come out and try to do comedy because they know there's a comedy club, so they'll go there and they'll start trying stuff. Yep. And there's definitely like a surge of just shitty people. Well, like, there's so much more shitty people now because I think desperation is what is needed to get better in a lot of ways, and so now that we have 5 mics and people know that there's a comedy club, everyone's just doing it as opposed to being like, I'm searching out because this is the only place I know you can do comedy at, and you need to do it, and then you're going to keep going, and then people aren't quitting like they used to. And I miss those days when someone would quit after like 6 months, but now there's like 3 years and you're just like, you're fucking awful. Like,
when are you going to pick up on this?
Fucking stop doing it, you mumbly weirdo.
Because in wrestling you get people like, you know, everybody remembers like wrestling school, and it's like because you get like fans who just think like oh, you know, like Mick Foley is my favorite wrestler and he wasn't big and jacked, and they forget that there's like a sense of like athleticism and balance that goes into this stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm going to be like this guy and I'm just going to do moves, and like it ends up being like way harder than they think it's going to be. But like I can't even imagine like with comedy, because like people just have to like grab a microphone like I am right now and be like, you know, I told some jokes at work and I'm pretty funny.
That's exactly it. I think that's like
everybody and anybody.
You have a lot of like family assurance guys that come up there where it's like, I'm the funniest guy at Christmas time. And like, they go up there and then you realize that like, it just ain't gonna cut it.
And they brought their whole family and their friends and they're all laughing, and you're just like, fun.
Because they probably think they're awesome now.
Not only that, but it also sucks because when they pack out a room, it is a room of people who did not come to see a comedy show. They came to see their friend.
Yeah.
So you're performing for a crowd of people who don't want to be there.
Yeah,
and that's wrestling.
And it gives that guy like a sense of ego that, like, you know, if he traveled 30 miles outside the city, would realize it's not going to cut it, and that sucks, man.
I feel like it's got to be harder as like wrestlers because it's already something that people are like standoffish, and then to have people who are shitty trying it, and they just see it as that's the whole thing. Like, well, at least with comedy, you know that someone's shitty at comedy, and you don't think of comedy as being like the shittiest thing you've ever seen. But people are just like, yeah, wrestling, I knew it was stupid, and you're just like, but it's gotta be so fucking hard for that.
That definitely doesn't help. Yeah. I mean, but I don't know. I would think comedy the same thing, right?
It's because there are a lot of people who think that the city sucks, or they'll think that this is what Buffalo comedy is. They'll see some guy and they're like, yeah, this is Buffalo comedy.
I gotcha.
And then you're like, okay, whatever, but it's such an individual sport.
Yep.
Or whatever, and so I'm fine, or this person will be fine because they're doing well and they know what they're doing, and people like them, and they can do shows and they'll get whatever work. And it's only annoying in parts of it where you're just like, turnouts aren't as big because more people think this is, but people will come to see you. You're like, okay, I have something, but I won't, like, especially for me, because I run a show and wanting the show to do well, and just having more and more people who just are like, you're not getting it, and then having to deal with the fact that people come and they're like, I like you, I don't want to sit through all those fucking horrible people. And I'm just like, it's cutting down more and more shows, and I feel like it's got to be like a little bit harder as a wrestler because you already have that stigma of where people are already like so afraid to get into it.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely done my fair share of shows where like friends or family or something are like, oh, I'm going to come see you at that show, and it's like, don't come to this one. like wait for another one, please.
So last year, because my girlfriend, I've been getting her into wrestling, and she was like afraid of it before because she just like the violence aspect of it.
The stigma, like you said. Yeah.
And so like I got her into watching stuff, and her first live show was last year, and it was it's like the Woodlawn Beach show or whatever. No. It was but it was like so perfect for her to see it because
I think you said she was scared of the whole violence thing.
And I was like, I knew some of the people, and I was just like, oh my God, this is just like, I feel so bad for you doing that. And they're just like, it's fucking horrible.
I'm trying to say it's like going to take her to see like Troll 2 or something.
Yeah,
exactly.
So she was just like way more like comfortable because she was like, all right, I see it. And
then dudes like bleeding, hurting each other.
Yeah, and then we like went to other stuff, and she's like cool with it now.
I'm glad to hear that turned out okay.
Yeah. But she was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be like, and I'm like, this isn't going to be that show. You're definitely not going to be like wincing or anything. You're just going to be like, you're going to be comfortable. Yeah. We're going to be drinking. It's going to be fucking hilarious.
Beach. Yeah.
I fucking
Bash at the beach.
I love dog shit though. So like, I live for me, him, and Dick Justice. I will talk about this show. It is my favorite. One of my favorite wrestling shows.
Denver, PA.
I've ever went to. Yeah. And it was just like, talk about like, remember that time period when NWO was like super hot, and like every week they were announcing like a new member. Yep. I mean, it was like
Virgil.
So the most exciting thing in the world. Like, who the fuck is coming out? Like, Mr. Perfect?
Yeah.
What? You know what I mean, dude? He worked this show in Denver, Pennsylvania. That will go down in history as the worst show I've ever went to / the best. Like. And it's funny because like now being in wrestling locker rooms, you kind of see like the sense of like a good show to a bad show behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And usually like a good show, there's like a common communication between matches where it's like, okay, we're starting hot on this one, so maybe you guys shouldn't start hot on this one because we're starting hot. In the finish, I'm going to kick this dude in the balls. Maybe come up with something different. You know what I mean? This show... None of it. It was every match.
Not a lot of communication.
Literally 6 matches before his match. Every one of them started hot. A guy attacking the other guy. There was run-ins on every single match. Like it was amazing.
Because I almost did that, and I asked you guys. I was like, "Hey guys, I was gonna start the match off hot."
You love starting hot.
And like Dick Justice turned, he goes, "Every single match is done." Yeah, I was like, "Oh,
dude, it
okay,
was awesome." Like dudes doing stuff they shouldn't be, like 450s. Like this guy's obviously a smoker.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like he can't run the ropes, but like a 450 splash is definitely the right idea.
Yeah.
In front of 120 people, literally in the garage of a fire hall, like where the trucks go.
Yeah, like it wasn't even like
locker room, dude.
Like,
I'm talking. There was a fire or something, and firemen came in and had to grab their gear around us, the people who were watching the show.
Fucking amazing.
Like,
I live for that.
Like not like a lot of shows. Like I mean, I think PWG's in a bingo hall, isn't it? Or
yeah,
something
but
like,
it's different. It's,
but this was like a legit. Like there was 50 people in there, and it was packed. Like that was,
dude.
It wasn't even a fire hall. Like it was like a garage, like a legit. But like for me, it was like
wrestled?
We were in Denver, PA, and like. It was like one of those, like, dude, a small crowd like that still thinks wrestling is real is a piece of cake. Like,
there was the dude he wrestled came out shit on a kid.
Yeah.
This fucking guy comes out and just points at a kid and starts shitting on this little kid.
I think, wasn't the mom in, like, pajamas?
Hang on.
Sorry, fuck, I ruined your story.
That was not a mom. That was a grandma. And so grandma and grandpa take this little kid to the show. The guy he's wrestling literally shits on the kid as they're walking out, then tells the grandma to shut her mouth because she starts like chirping up, and then the grandfather stands up and it's like, oh shit, he wants to fight. Like you see it. Yeah. Like, you know, there's a certain look. It's like he's not playing. Like that guy is mad. And then wrestler dude goes in the ring, and then Jesse comes out, blah, 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 does this thing. Then he gets out of the ring, he comes up, and the guy goes, yo, kick his ass for me. Kick his ass for me. And Jesse's like, I got you.
That's like that's like a veteran move, is like I can tell, like I knew like they're mad. Like they're not, you know what I mean? They're like
angry.
Yeah, like literally where they're gonna like either someone's gonna run in the ring or they're gonna like complain to the promoter or something.
On that card, they could have.
Yeah, there was zero security. So
I saw some shit. There was a few times where I was like, I don't even think this guy wrestles. This guy was literally at the bar, and he's in the ring doing a stunner right now. So like his match happens, whatever. I remember when we got there, everybody's smoking out back. There's like a smoking pile out back, and the dude that he's wrestling is smoking, comes up to him and just goes, I'm not running today. Like the boards were all fucked up.
The ring was
like
so shit. Yeah.
Like crazy. So then like the headlining match, I've talked about this match so many times on this podcast. Yo, it's online.
Is it?
It's straight. Yo, the headlining match is online.
Oh
I will find it.
Please send it to me.
Oh my God, yes. It is awesome. If you can figure out what happens, thank God. Tell me. I would love to know. But I found the match online. I sent it to Dick.
Yeah,
not that long ago.
I kind of remember you guys talking about this.
So anyways, in the match, this guy, the headlining guy, shows up 5 minutes before and just like, I got an idea. He comes out with like a fat dude in a wheelchair. Dude is in the ring. It's a PG show. I'm doing quotations. PG show. Comes out, and the very first thing out of his mouth is, hey, remember last week when I stuck my fingers in your ass? And the other guy literally goes, like, looks at the crowd like, I have no idea what he's talking about, but I have to play ball, and goes, yep. Like, literally, like, shrugging his shoulders, he's like, yep. And then he fucking goes, right? So, like, then this thing happens, which is kind of a match. They start brawling. Dick is, like, 3 shoots to win at this point in time. He's a little tipsy. Yeah. And, like, apparently, like, a couple years before this dude called him out for having hokey punches in a battle royal. So like he started doing the cane underpunch during this like battle royal, and like when he gets to the back, this guy's like, "You're killing the business. It's strikes like that are killing the business." This guy is throwing one of the worst strikes I've ever seen. Dick is about 3 feet from his face going, "Your strikes are ruining the business. Your strikes are ruining the business," just screaming in his face. So then like something happens, and then like the match is kind of like falls apart. Then like a dude jumps in, blah blah blah.
It's like 10 people ran out. It was
awesome.
just like a melee.
At one point in time, like the dude that showed up 5 minutes before the match is on the mic talking shit to a dude that looks like an even worse Ricky Morton.
Oh God!
Like Ricky Morton's
like dude was like a meth head or something too.
This is what I'm getting at. Damn. So Oxhog, I just said the name Oxhog. Hopefully I never see this guy. He's gonna beat the shit out of me because I bring his name up every time. Oxhog just goes, "What are you, pissed off because your meth dealer wasn't at the bar down the street?" And I mean, I remember looking at Dick and being, "This is the greatest wrestling show I've ever been to." And then the other dude, like the guy that got his fingers in his ass, just grabs the mic and you can just see him go, "Well, all bets are off. I'm throwing venom now." He looks at Oxhog and then just turns to the fat guy in the wheelchair and goes, "You fat fuck." And I was like, "Oh my God. He's shitting on the dude in the wheelchair." Oh, and me and Dick are like, I mean, I was at a level of excitement that like, the only thing I can remember is my mom and dad buying me like a fucking shitty computer when I was like 13 that had like a strip poker 8-bit game on it. Like that type of excitement was like, I remember kissing, like so excited, I kissed my mom and our teeth met. And I still feel weird about this to this day. And I remember that. My 13th birthday, bought a desktop computer. And I was like, "Oh my God," I was super excited. I jumped up, kissed my mouth and my mom, and our teeth
Like,
met.
clink.
And it still weirds me out today. That type of excitement for a show in Denver was like, oh my God.
I didn't see any of this. It was the main event.
I was gonna die unhappy.
I just remember I heard it. It was like, I mean, it sounded like WrestleMania. I was like, man, they're really killing it out there. And then like I saw those guys and I was like, hey, what happened in like the main event there? It sounded awesome.
What didn't happen?
And they're both of them just like huge eyes, and they were just like, dude, you have no idea. And they just like, it was like a 4 or 5 hour drive home, and they just fucking laid it all out for me.
The only thing that didn't happen was a live sex act. Like everything else happened. Like if a live sex act had happened, like I wouldn't be here. My body would have exploded. Like, oh my God! Like it's a PG show. The first thing the dude says is, "Do you remember last week when I had my fingers in your ass?"
the crackhead so part was awesome.
Insane. And like I said, he looked like a cross between like a very cool Robbie Brookside and like the most shot version of Ricky Morton. Like he definitely had a damn Yankees tape in his car.
Just waiting to be fucking.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Sorry guys, but I have the match and I'll send you guys the match. It is.
I want to see this. You guys so can goddamn mad.
It is so fucking good. It's not good, but it's good.
I love it.
Yes. I mean, like Woodlawn Beach, like you're talking. It's like those shows do exist.
They're so great.
I don't know. I wish I could appreciate bad wrestling more. Like a lot of guys do. Like Delirious, the booker of Ring of Honor, like loves bad wrestling DVDs. Kenny Omega loves bad wrestling. Like I don't know. I can't do it. I can't.
It's so like it's something special because it's like, you're really doing this bad. Like I feel the same way with comedy.
I mean, yeah, because the same thing. There's bad comedians.
I love saying there used to be this dude who I don't know what happened to him. His name was Rob Killigrew. Yeah, and
straight up. Shout out to Rob.
He's probably dead. He looked like Rasputin.
Awesome.
not awesome because it was like if he was sick, like if the poisons really got him, like he just was like frail and birdish.
Yeah.
And he would say the filthiest, weirdest fucking things I had ever heard in my entire life. And I would be in tears laughing. I remember watching him. I think I caused him to keep going for a while. Just because I was laughing so hard.
Dude, you're killing it.
He would say this, like he said this thing, he was like, I always wanted to ask Jarrett, does he like MILF pussy or does he like to eat fresh? And I was just like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like something about
adding on to that, man.
Superman like raping somebody and then his mother fucking him, and like it was like, this is the strangest fucking thing in the world, but I'm in tears.
Why, like the thing is that's crazy is like you're at home and obviously you have to write.
Yeah.
Right? And then, like, I mean, it happens with bands all the time where, like, every single time you come to a town, a dude comes up and he's like, hey, man, check out my demo. And then, like, my big joke with that is just, like, it's never just like, hey, check out my demo. And then it stops.
Yeah.
It's always like, check out my demo, but, like, our singer was sick that day and our bass player's, like, bass broke and, like, blah, blah. And it's like, you're already setting yourself up to fail. Like, you're telling me to check this out and, like, you didn't put it on a pedestal. You literally buried it.
These are the worst conditions.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I don't know why
like,
guys do that. Yeah.
So, like, can you imagine, like, being at home when that's happening and you're just like, when I hear drummers that are off time or I hear a guitar that's out of tune, I'm like, they don't hear that. Can you imagine not being able to hear that? Like, what the one thing that you're supposed to be doing is, like, being on time and being in tune, and you're not even getting that right.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, like, being... And I'm not saying I'm in the fucking Beatles.
Yeah.
But, like, I know when we're off time, and I know when I'm on.
You know what
tune.
you're doing,
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, fuck, man. Like, even, you know, like, you're writing a lead or something like that, and it's just like, you hit that one bad note, and you're like, oh, that's not it. Like, right away. There's people that don't have that.
Yeah, like you said, like, they don't even hear it.
Yeah.
It's like wrestlers, it's just like, dude, like, some guys, it's like, do you own a mirror? Like, do you see, like, what you look like? And you're trying to go out there and, like, you expect people to pay money to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you look like you'd be sitting in the third row. It's like, and then they talk to you, and it's like the same thing. Like, they talk to you, and it's just like, this guy is completely delusional. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not blind, dude. You're right in front of me, and you're trying to tell me how you work out, and you've gained muscle, and it's just like, you've looked exactly the same for 5 years now. It's just like,
Tyson Dukes has, like, a thing about that where he, like, talks about, like, he goes, hey, man, like, sometimes you're out there and you're wrestling a guy who that's his WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because he only wrestles every 3 months.
yeah,
blah,
does
blah,
that one
like,
show.
And I'm sure that probably happens in comedy where it's like, this guy doesn't write anything. He's using the same material. And then, like, you know, he's at work where he works a factory job or something, and he, like, comes up with some joke that he has never said in front of a crowd. Never even came out of his mouth. And then, like, he tries it, and you're like, oh, you fuck your mother, rape. Great. Okay. Perfect.
Dick joke.
I see, like, and there are some people who I see the, like, this is your chance to do something.
Yeah.
And I don't mind those people because it's like, all right. But what makes me so frustrated is, like, seeing people fucking dying, and then they come out and, like, fucking crushed. I crushed so hard. Like, and it's like, no, you didn't.
That happens in every facet of life.
It's so silly because you're like, I've had people do that, and then I've gone on or someone else gone on, and you're like, do you understand that sounded way different than yours? And you're like, I don't even think I crushed it.
But they think they're on, like, the same level with you, and it's just like, holy fuck, man.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I like, comedy has gotten me to, like, allowed me to have some of the weirdest fucking experiences of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Of just women licking my hair. I did a show with Steve Carino. And
which is very cool.
It was super cool, and I did more time than him, which was fucking hilarious because he was, like, super cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then, like, as soon as the show's about to happen, and he's just like, yeah, I haven't done this, like, 8 years. And we're just like, okay. So, like, it's just like a room full of wrestlers after, like, think it was like a BCW show.
Yeah.
And just like, all right, I did 15 and then he did like 7. I was like, I don't care. This is like the fucking coolest shit ever.
With Steve Carino.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Cool.
That's like, it's like, you know, because comedy, I don't know, like wrestling fans are a certain way. Like, you know what I mean? Like his fans from the band are like a certain way. Is there like, there? I mean, there has to be like a comedy following fans in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to, like, I don't know why I've never thought of that before. Like comedy fans have to be, because I'm trying to, like wrestling fans are like a totally different breed. Like I always say, like ESW here in Buffalo, 90% of the time, if I have friends and family come and watch, they talk about the people in the crowd more than they do the actual show. It's like it's I don't know, man. I think there's something. Like are comedy, like, is comedy more normal, or like?
Comedy is, if people like you, it's normal, and you'll see them and they'll like come out and you're like, all right. But comedy fans are different because they're so specific.
Yeah.
Where
that makes sense.
Where they're like, I know comedy because of this person.
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting, or I want to hear this, or they're expecting something, and then sometimes they'll be bummed out, or
like, oh, I thought you were gonna do this.
Or they're just rooting. And also, I think because comedy is a thing that they feel they can do, they don't treat it the same way.
Yeah.
They don't like treat a like. And talking about how like wrestlers have to deal with people, like seeing it a different way, there's still that level of like, I can't do that. Like, like some people feel they can, like I can jump off, like when everyone was like super into Foley because they thought all he did was just jump off stuff,
wrestling stuff.
Yeah, so they thought they could do that. Comedy, the people who come to see shows, they already feel like, well, we're doing the same thing, especially if you
go up there and talk.
Especially if you're doing it in a way that is more conversational. Like I'm more conversational than just like writing joke to people. So they're just like, he's talking, I can talk. Like I know, and so there's like that energy.
They think they can tell you what to do, kind of thing.
Yeah, or they feel like it's so inclusive a lot of the times, and they're like, yeah, use this in your act, or like you talk about this, or I'm like, you probably think this is super funny, you're gonna talk about me, or they all want to kind of feel like they're involved in it. And it's so different where you're just like, fuck, man, like
wrestling's kind of like that
a little bit. I see what you're saying though, whereas comedy fans more think, you know, more along the lines of like, you know, I'm here and the stage is right there, I could easily just get up there and start talking.
Yeah, or they'll just talk and then they think they're helping the show because you made fun of them, and you're like I'm a part of the show and I'm helping you. I'm helping your job. Like I'm like, no, this is just odd.
Yeah, you're
like,
now you're just,
you paid a ticket.
Yeah. And you're like just being weird.
Unfortunately, no, you're not part of the show. Like I don't know how a nicer way to tell you.
And it gets so in because like culturally now everyone's like, there's a lot of heckler videos and stuff where people want to be that.
So they think it'll get on YouTube
and they want to be like, oh man, I watched this guy like tear into somebody, so now I think I can be the person who gets, and you're like, I know that you want this attention through the whole thing. That's why you're talking.
Yes.
There's no other, everyone else is like freaked out by just the act of talking on stage. They're just like, there's a magic trick happening and I don't know what's going on. And you're like, no, I want to be involved. And so they'll start talking and you're just like, I'm not going to say anything to you because you're going to keep going and then it's going to be a thing.
You're just like throwing fuel on the fire.
Yeah, and you're going to derail this whole fucking thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't care. And then sometimes you just go, yeah, all right, fuck you.
I remember getting like the craziest douche chills at that Ron Funches show because some like girls, he started like banter and he asked a question and this girl said something and she said something and then she goes, no, I'm in the business. She said something like that and I was like, I wanted to fucking die for her.
God.
I hate that shit so much. And
like, I'm in the business, so like, who gives a fuck? No one else is, so shut up.
Get over yourself. Like, stop.
You're like, oh, wait, hang on, this is completely different now.
And what
like,
business?
Right, yeah.
I work for Geico. I'm in the business.
Yeah, you could have been serving a drink that night. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm here right now working.
I've worked at a lot of comedy clubs.
There is something so weird about it because people take it so personally and they absorb it. And I think because they're finding something relatable in what you're saying a lot of times, but like where people freak out about like so many little things, or I just see so many fucking weird crowds through comedy. Like,
is there something you catch heat over? Like, have you gotten heel heat?
I have for stuff like, so I can be very mean. Yeah. And that's why I don't really deal with hecklers. Like talk to that because I know that
the only way it's going to go.
Because it's like, this is going to be funny, but it's so specific and it's not to make people really like, people will laugh, but this is to make you want to go home and cry.
And never do this again.
Where I remember I had someone say something to me and I just told him like, are you mad because your dad touched you? And they're like, what? And I was like, no, you misunderstand. I didn't mean like he touched you, like he molested. I mean like he patted your shoulder as he left because he didn't love you anymore. And they're just like, and it's just like, I'm like, and now we're all in a different place. Like, now I feel like a dick.
Yep.
But there are some times where, like, I have like a joke about feminism, and it's not really about feminism. It's just kind of like the absurdity of like this double standard type of thing. And you just say the word and someone wants to like have this like huge, and I love it and I hate it sometimes because you're like, now you're talking and you're just like, oh my God, and you're not even hearing the joke because you automatically assume that I'm going to this place, and it's like, it has nothing even to do with, like, feminism is just the start of this. It's the first word, but it has nothing to do with anything else about this.
We haven't talked about anything else yet.
It's just like, or like adopted dogs or something. Like, they're just like such simple things that people want to have a feeling about. And you're just like, God damn it, like, it's not that serious. And then you're like, or they'll just like, you can't really feel that way. You can't, like, it's not even that, it's not real. It's not all
in a
real.
comedy place too.
It's jokes, man.
Like, you're walking into a comedy club, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna hear jokes.
I remember I did I have a thing about the Church of Satan, and this guy who used to do comedy came up to me, and he was like, you know, like, Satanism and the Church of Satan are different things. I was like, yeah, I do. It doesn't fucking matter for the joke.
Most people don't know that.
It's not like, no, there's like Levian, and then like, yeah, I know. Who fucking cares right now?
Exactly.
All you have to say is just like, the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's about King Diamond, and Buzz, like, who fucking cares? I don't want, like, no one's gonna come to my, like, hey, we are different than these guys. Don't lump us in. We don't like, God, no one fucking cares.
I went this year, well, like last year too. I got to go to like a Wiccan wedding.
Okay.
That was around like Halloween, and like, I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you're Wiccan, but like, it legit was like the craziest, fakest shit I had ever seen, and like, there was a woman with a corn tattoo.
Yeah!
Do you know what I mean? Like a straight up, it just said corn tattoo.
Not even the doll, just straight up corn.
There was like a woman, like in a witch hat, like an actual, just like, I went to,
like a pointy ass witch hat.
I went to Rite Aid. It's Halloween time, and I bought this hat. Like, not like, I feel like if I was a real witch or a warlock or whatever, I would like, hey man, I know you do like some leather work. Think you can make me like a pointy hat?
Yeah. Get something nice.
Like a Halloween costume.
Definitely was not. Like,
from
it was
spirit,
like that
from the spirit store.
Yes. And it was so weird, dude. Like, and it, like, I remember like being like the people that I was with, and I was someone's date, and I can't even believe I went to it. But like, and I remember like being there, and I like finding normal people, and like being like, Can you believe this shit? Like literally having like that talk, like
pretty weird, huh?
This shit, like this is nuts, right? Just for men, beards.
Love that. You're right.
Everywhere.
Like, yeah, just black for no
It was
reason.
real
wild,
pointy and shit.
dude. Oh yeah, like chronic facial everywhere. And I remember like there's one dude I kept fucking just shitting on all night. I was like, this guy, like, look at him, like he's wearing like a frilly shirt, like the puffy frilly shirt, and every move is dramatic.
Like Gangrel. Just
Oh, I wish though.
Yeah.
I wish it was Gangrel.
I wish it was as cool
but
as
like
Gangrel.
super Gangrel-y, yeah. And then like the night goes by, and I remember like the last dance happening, and I'm like dancing with my date or whatever. And then the dude comes up and goes, "Hey man, every time I die, sick band." And I was like, "God damn it, man! Like, you were supposed to be the guy I'm gonna like drive home, going like, man, that guy." Now I'm like, I can't say anything because
Cool
like
as
the
fuck,
band.
yeah. What a buzzkill.
But like that shit was like, it's like anything that anyone like ties themselves in, and then I think of like how much these people love Wiccan stuff.
yes.
And then I'm like, I'm a 40-year-old dude who likes wrestling men in tights.
Yeah.
And I've watched dudes wrestling in tights my entire life. And if I break that down for like a normal person, they're going to be like, what? It's like, yeah, the dude is dead.
Yeah.
And he comes to life in the middle of the match. He walks the ropes.
Yeah.
Like you're like explaining Undertaker. and
Puts
they're
the
just
guy in a body bag at
like
the end
what
of the match.
fuck?
I
are you
think about
talking
that shit all the time.
Yeah.
And it is funny, but it's also like it's the level of taking it serious. Like,
Of course.
so I met my girlfriend's dad for the first time we went to the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's so fucking funny because it's their market. They have to sell this whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
But selling it more and more makes it cornier and sillier, and where you're just like, and this is where he died, and this is like a recreation, and then like you look in the room and there's like a Family Guy DVD next to something.
Yeah,
and you're just like, and there was like a seance, and I was just like, I'm not about it. Just like, I don't believe any of it, but I'm just like, I don't. And then I went in and it was just like, everyone, her family members like shitting on this woman, trying to like, she's like, there's someone missing. Like, there's a P name. Like, we told you Aunt Pat's not here. Like, she couldn't make it to the trip, and that we told you that before.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like like we literally said like she's just trying so hard, and then you have like these carny kids who have to take care of the place. And you just see all the cameras, and she's like, this is the funniest fucking thing. Like, just people using dowsing rods and like, like, man,
I did that. I don't know if I told this on here or not. I did that once, like that, like ghost hunter type shit. I like randomly got called and booked for to do like a signing in Erie, PA. So it was only like an hour and a half from here, and it was at like a convention for that, like paranormal stuff. And then it was in Erie, PA. Shortly after I got there, like I realized, like, oh, I'm the only person he paid to be here. Like everybody else is like renting booths and trying to sell stuff. So like I'm by myself. And then the deal was I had a hotel for the night, and he was like, hey, we're going to do like a ghost hunt, because I was doing it. I was doing Saturday and then like Sunday afternoon. So he's like, yeah, and then like, come do the ghost hunt with us like Saturday night. And like we went to this like old abandoned like hospital or something, and they did all the ghost hunter shit with like the radio, and like, dude, that was the biggest crock of shit I've ever been. Like, I tried leaving so many times, and the guy was like, no, just wait. And then the fucking the biggest one was like, the first thing I did was we all sat in like this room, and it's like you're at an abandoned hospital at 2 a.m. So yeah, it's dark and it's kind of creepy, and they turn on those fucking like radio gimmick things, and the guy even told, like, they're trying to like pick up voices and shit, and the guy even told us like sometimes it picks up AM radio. It's like, okay, so if we get a fucking baseball game, like, so that was just, and everyone is just trying, same thing, everyone is just trying to be like, oh, did you hear that? It's like, no, we didn't hear anything. Like, fuck. And then the one that like I tried to leave a couple times, guy telling me to hang on. Then the last one was like, they took us upstairs. So now at this point, we're in like a little narrow hallway. There's no light, so it's kind of freaky up there. and they were talking like it was a normal thing. I don't remember the word for it, but it was like you look down the hallway, there's like doorways and shit, and they said you see ghosts like jumping across the hallway. And they're talking like, I was like, holy shit. And they're talking like, this is like, this is about to happen. Like, I was like, holy fuck, like, this is insane. And then like, we're just staring down this hallway. It's pitch black. And like, they said they turned something on or something, I think. And there was some whack job with us who was trying to say somebody's talking to him the whole time, who's not. And it's just like, holy fuck, man, shut up. And like, we're just staring down this hall and nothing happened. Like, and then people were trying to act like they were like, oh, there's a presence behind me. It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? You said there was going to be ghosts jumping down this hallway. Nothing is happening. We've been here for 20 fucking minutes. Like, it was, dude. And then I finally got out of there and it was just like, man, like, talk about a bunch of people that are just trying to convince themselves something is happening, and it's blatantly not.
It's like, fucking awful. Like, I got paid in a ghost tour, like a ghost hunt, because...
Wait. Like, so, like, you show up and they're just like, all right, listen, the house is a little light.
It was so, Chris Gullo.
Yeah, of course.
So, love Gullo. He had us do a Day of the Dead show at the Czech Cultural Center. Awesome. And horrible place to do a comedy show because it is like a giant theater area and they're just like banquet tables and they're so far away in the ceiling and there's maybe 40 people in this giant cavernous room and they are talking over us, and it's a Day of the Dead ceremony like show in like November, and it's like this is already wrong, and it's the Czech Cultural Center. And then like usually if someone's like not paying you, they'll give you beers or something. We didn't even know we weren't getting paid, so we're like, I'm paying for beers. And then like it was like, so like what's, and then the guy's like, listen, I don't have any money to give you guys. I'm just like, sorry guys. He's like, but I could take you on a ghost hunt. I'm just like,
yep,
all right,
okay, man.
And it was just going through the upstairs of the Czech Cultural Center, and it is so fucking funny to just be walking with a stranger in an abandoned building while they tell you about someone dying. Like it's just it's like a janitor used to be in this room, he died, and now he's here, and it's like, that's the saddest fucking thing. You didn't pay me any money, and now I get to hear a sad story.
Now I'm sad.
Yeah, you're just like,
you're just bumming me out.
Yeah, you basically paid your own way to be sad.
Yeah, it's just like
I could have sat home and jerked off. Something really embarrassing.
I felt better about myself than this fucking shit.
At least something would have happened as opposed to just being like, oh god.
We what was it, last Halloween we did that.
I literally thought you were going to transition into Tug Time.
Well, we can go there next. What the fuck is the big famous ghost tour in Buffalo? It's like an old insane asylum.
There's the old insane asylum, and then there's the train.
It's not the train station. What, do you remember the name of the asylum? No. I guess it doesn't really matter. But it's, I mean, like, we went out and, like, it was, like, right around Halloween time. Like, the tour was so big, they split us up into, like, 2 groups, and it was, like fucking same thing. Like, people are just pulling out, like, their cell phones, and I guess that fucking transmitter thing that picks up voices is like an app. So they're pulling out their app. One lady just like straight up lit a cigarette and was just like, ma'am, I don't think that's cool. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, they're just like,
no, it goes like secondhand smoke.
Yeah.
They come out. And it's the same thing. It was just like, so and so died in this room. And then down here was more people. It's just like, cool, man.
There's that meme. There's that
this stuff is old
that just came out like this. I don't know if it's this month. I don't know when memes are made. I'm 40. So like, there was like a meme that said like, why is it that ghosts are always from like the 1700s? Like, why is there just not like a ghost that was like that died in like 1994?
Yeah,
like talking about Alf,
right?
Or something like, you know what I mean? Like, why is it always just like, oh, it's Sally B. Jenkins was here and she died in 17 something another. And it's like, oh, okay.
That was like the crazy part about like the Lizzie Borden house is that they're explaining the story, and essentially when they get deeper and deeper, it's like, so her uncle did the murders and she had nothing to do with it. And you're like, okay. And then they talk about like, we slept in the maid's room, and like they say the maid sits here and like she'll like sit in this rocking chair, and like sometimes people have seen her walk. And I was like, wait, the maid who left the job after the murders and went on to live her life until like 1940 something, or like just like late. And she was like an 80-year-old woman with her own house. She wants to come back to her old job. Like, no, I want to fucking go to Rite Aid after I die.
Exactly.
It's just like, good run there. Had a real good run there.
Something crazy happened.
I'm gonna go haunt this old Ruby Tuesdays after I pass away.
It's been 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. That makes zero sense.
That's I think like it would be kind of awesome to like get like a ghost that died like the first season of The Simpsons, and he just starts talking about like the first season of The Simpsons, like, there's like other seasons, right? Like we'll haunt a TV and like try to catch up.
Not as good. Like he's still shitty about it because he has only one season of Simpsons.
Yeah. I don't know what people are seeing. It was a Tracy Ullman show. Well, we have this thing called Tug Time where we talk about jerking off.
Can't help but avoid it.
Yeah, and it gets weird sometimes. We're going to start doing the Tuggy Awards.
Okay.
Where basically it's a subjective award show. So it's basically your own...
Good way to put it.
It's your own award. So, like, you're going to have your own award. I'll have my own award. You know what I mean? Like that when we do it, the Tuggy Awards are just going to... And we're just going to break down... We're going to have a bunch of, like, different categories of just, like, magazine tug. Okay. Not porn-related.
Okay.
So, like a magazine that you were just like... Well, that's what took place that day. Like, I was feeling this Rolling Stone, and that day, Sinead O'Connor was what I tugged for.
Tug Time originally started as like a scene from an actual, not porn, like a scene from an actual movie you saw when you were a kid.
It was like,
it was just like, whoa, I didn't fucking see that coming.
Like a tug movie would be like Showdown in Little Tokyo. When Tia Carrere gets naked, which found out it wasn't her.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was I'm jerking off to a whole other person. But then Tug Time is also like, you had that chick that you were like super hot on in like 9th grade, but then like you could go watch a porno and be like, I think her body kind of looks like this one. Mind you were probably jerking off to like a 40-year-old porn star.
Right.
She was a prepubescent 15, 16-year-old, Wow.
By the way, there's like a Reddit for that now called Doppelbanger, where people submit like photos of people that they want to see, and they're like, find me a porn star that looks just like this person.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
I love that.
It's like a great idea, and I'm like,
cool.
It's pretty genius. Like,
Doppelbanger.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Have you seen any of like the sex robot stuff yet? Dude,
they are nice.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel real weird.
There's like a documentary on Netflix about sex robots.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because there are two guys working on opposite sex robots, and one is working on like the talking of it, like this kind of, and then the other person's like, no, the body needs to move. And it needs to be like this, and you're just, and then they meet up with each other at the end, and they're just talking about the product, and they're both frightening things. They're just like one's just like a body that just like violently shakes and moves around. The other one is just like these. He's like, no, I want beautiful faces. And they're these horrifying things that he paint. I was like, oh my god,
that is heavy shit.
How do you not like? You have to be into dead people.
Yeah.
If you're fucking one of those things, you're into dead person.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah. My dad used to work with this dude named Spider. And I'll tell you the fire.
That was always, like, as far back as I can remember, that was always my favorite nickname for a person.
Spider?
I definitely saw it in a movie somewhere.
It was always like a biker movie.
Yeah, that's a great nickname.
But yeah, Spider, when I worked with my dad for like a little bit when I was 19, Spider would cash everybody's check. That's how much, like, you would go to his like work box. You'd hand him your check, which at that time I was like a young, like, if dudes were working with grease, I was working with just paper. I was like, I wore like a suit and tie, and like 19-year-old just dude that worked in like the engineering department of Niagara Machine and Tool in the Fruit Belt. And yeah, like I remember, like, I didn't have a bank account until I was 33 years old. This is when I was 19. And I used to roll to Spider, hand him my check, and then he would just literally pull out like envelopes of cash and then give you your cash. And then he would take the check and then like I don't know the fuck he would do the check like go somewhere and cash it, which is so weird.
But you're real shady, whatever.
You would be in line with like 20 people. So like he would cash everybody's check, and then my dad would be like, "Oh, if you need anything, Spider can get it for you." So like I remember my dad bought a side of beef off of him when I was like 16 because it fell off the truck, like a side of beef. Like you're not buying beef off of a man named Spider.
No, man.
Ever. Like go to
Spider beef.
Meat Market. Yeah, like,
exactly.
Don't go there.
I don't care how much money you saved.
Spider.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So Spider apparently liked to paint with his wife's menstrual.
Holy fuck, man.
Like he used to paint, like finger paint with that. Jeez. And then he also used to make her sit in an ice bath before having sex because he wanted to have sex with a dead girl. So his poor wife would be like, "Get in this ice bath.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you nice and cold. Then we're gonna go to Pump Town."
Jeez.
Fucking insane.
Dude, it's fucking wild. So like,
Spider. Did he fucking tell people that? Like he must have.
If I'm telling you that story,
exactly.
It leaked out.
It was like a pride. Like,
I have the old lady sit in the fucking ice bath, and then
1997, 1998, right around there.
Yeah.
Great year, 97.
Yeah.
Nitro. But yeah, like, and then that was, and like, I just remember that story. I remember my dad telling me that story, and it was just like, fuck that guy. Like, but obviously, if people are having sex with these fucking sex bots, and then, like, they like sex with dead people.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not telling me that you're sticking your dick in something rubber and it's like warm.
Yeah, and it's like it's like the same thing. Like and because I mean they're saying like virtual reality is gonna get like heavier and heavier to where like you can literally just sit in your fucking living room and like live a life in virtual reality. Like
remember when porn had like different angles?
Yeah.
You could like switch between angles. There was like some porn that you could watch where I want a ceiling view. And then you see pumping from like down above and then like from behind. And
was that like on the DVD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember like
very weird.
Like because then cool, obviously like the more you watch porn, you pick up on there's like a formula to like how the fucking scenes go. Like the blowjob and now he's gonna eat her out and now they're gonna do missionary and then like I remember like renting a porn once and that was on the menu. It was like you just picked which you know what I mean like doggy style. Like now is when she's.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I also like. My old roommate, he has like virtual reality, and we watch virtual reality porn.
I love the fact that you're just like he has virtual reality.
Yeah, like I was gonna stop you there.
In
like,
my head,
what is it? I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
you just put shit on it.
Right.
Like Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, it's fucking Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe.
It's his head, so it's a headset, and it's probably one of the craziest things in the world. Like it's. One of the greatest things I've ever experienced.
Do you just sit there? You don't have to move?
You don't have to move. So, depending on what you're doing, like games, you're moving around and you have like controllers and wands and stuff, and like Google Earth on there is like the coolest thing. Like, we would have people over and just like, all right, you put on and you're going to go through Google Earth first. That's the first thing you have to do.
Yeah,
and it's just like. It's so quickly it absorbs you where you're like I'm not in the room I was just in immediately.
That's crazy.
And I remember like I had my mom try it and she was just like she was like tripped out.
I would think a certain age group can just not handle
this is magic.
She loved it. Like, I was like, you want me to take it off? She's like, no. She was just like flying over a desert just like
fuck.
VR porn is probably one of the funniest, weirdest things to see because I put it on. I was like, all I want to do is look at a wall. That's all I want to do while this is happening. And it's so annoying having to get like scaling so that the video and the woman is of a normal human size. Otherwise, just like a giant body in your face and you're just looking around. But I just remember watching this video and just looking at a a washing machine because it just like takes place in a laundry room. I'm just like it's just the weirdest thing in the world. And just like, all right,
is it virtual reality to where like it's like like the porn, it's like you're having sex with somebody, or like you're watching two people
this is
have
your-
sex.
It's POV. It's your where it's like if you get the scaling right,
Yeah.
it's a woman on you and you have like a torso.
Yeah, like a holy
and
shit,
it's just
man.
this like
Yo, have you ever been like lost and tried to beat down while like people are in the room and you don't know? What if you get taken away and you're just there and you start beating and like
Oh yeah, and then
in
like
the
people
room,
just walk in.
and they're just like
Like you're just sitting there.
they're just
with your
looking
fucking
around.
goggles on, going, "That's
Fuck,
out."
man.
You think you're in another?
I
You think you're
could
in another
never do
dimension?
it. It
Yeah.
was so like it's so like disorienting. Like where you're just like, it's so different than
Of course.
how a woman would be in front. Like it just
Yeah, it's nowhere near the real thing.
yeah, because it's also playing up the fact that it's virtual, so it has to be closer. It has to be. So it's just like. It's weird
It's
to see a
almost too-
person's face this close to you.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're like, man, tits shouldn't be this close to my
Yeah.
face. Like, it's just like,
This is strange.
It just seems so off because it's like, we're not touching, but you're too close to me.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
just fucking weird. And then,
I mean, there has to be things like the human brain just can't fucking comprehend. Like
Yeah.
you said, like, yeah, there's no touching, but like, what the fuck is this right in front of my face?
yeah.
Like,
And it's so funny because that's like the most disorienting thing about like VR. It's like watching porn where like I could not jerk off to that. It just feels
Yeah.
it was so
Weirds you
weird.
out, yeah.
But then there's other things like there are games where you're like instinctively like I'm ducking and I'm moving and I'm doing all this other shit.
Yeah.
And so you're like it's like if you're jerking off to like VR porn, you're in a different mind state
Yeah.
because you're
Elon
just
Musk.
like you're like but then also people buy like those fake vaginas that are like
Exactly.
also an ass. and-
Exactly.
Yo, hold on a second. So like Elon Musk just went into space
Yes, he did.
on a car.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wait, what
That's
happened?
like a total rich guy thing. Like rich guy. So Elon Musk literally shot his own rocket
Yeah.
into space.
I heard about
But he
this.
like attached a Tesla car to it so he could like cruise around space in
Yeah.
a Tesla car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And like me and my friends have been joking that he's like real life Hank Scorpio.
Yeah.
Because he also made like
Could
a
be.
crazy flamethrower
Yeah.
recently and it's just like
Oh, yeah.
all this shit is so
and the name of it is
weird.
like boring party something.
Yeah.
Like, it's just two people with shooting flamethrowers.
Yeah. He's so fucking
Like, does he have a chick up there and is he boning in space?
Wait, so he's in space
Yeah.
Yeah.
in like
Elon
a rocket?
Musk is not human.
He's in space in a rocket that he built, and there's a car attached to the rocket.
Yes. And there's pictures of him just
Yeah.
cruising around space. In a
Yeah, he's
car
like, I'm over
with, like,
Australia, and it's
sunglasses
just
on.
the weirdest. Like, it's amazing. It's so absurd that you're just like, yeah, this is happening.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
He's like, I almost feel like he just is going for the coolest guy ever.
Yeah,
Like he's just like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna just do this thing. I'm gonna take cool pictures of me in a car in space. Dude, if he doesn't get like boned down in space, like you aren't a true billionaire.
Well, like,
Yeah.
does he have a chick
Like
with him?
Who knows?
Yeah.
But I feel like if I was a billionaire and I was shooting myself into space, that's the first thing I'm
Like,
doing.
there's no kind of like regulations or something like that. Like, he could just. Did he get okayed by anybody to do that, or he just fucking
I
did
think
it?
if you're a billionaire, you just do what you want.
Yeah.
I think so too. Like,
Yeah.
there's just like a level of like, we're not doing it. Like, what is he gonna?
Yeah.
like,
It's like, yeah, you can say no, but like, I'm just gonna go do it.
Yeah, I can do it anyways.
It's cool.
like, what are we gonna do? Like,
Yeah. And it's not like, does anyone own space? No one owns
No.
space.
Yeah, but
You just do it.
I don't know, like air traffic control. Like, doesn't he need to know like if there's like shit in the way or like?
it,
Fuck, man.
the rules
He
are
probably
odd.
owns that satellite.
He's just yeah.
Because when you
Yeah,
think about
right.
like also that dude who jumped from space for Red Bull,
Yeah.
like it's just like how did that work? Because it's
How about just a guy jumped from space?
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
anybody in space? Period. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, man.
that's how bored we are.
A wrestler, dude, like, I don't want to put him on blast. I'm not going to say his name. But like, a wrestler, like, it's coming out more and more that, like, people believe in flat Earth.
Yeah.
And this dude came out today and, like literally was like someone kind of asked him, like, you don't believe the world is flat, right? And then his response wasn't like, nah, you know, like, he could have played like, nah, yeah. But, like, in his head, he's like, oh, fuck, man, it is flat. He just, like, came out and was like, we don't know. Could be square.
That is a thing that I've gotten like heel heat from.
is flat Earth.
Flat
is
earther.
making fun of flat because the fact that people react to it so like
Yeah.
well like no, you shouldn't, like, just off of, like, my whole thing is, like, just off of laziness, like, what does the flat earth do for us?
Nothing.
It's just, like, on me, just, like, do I get to still, like, play video games and eat pizza rolls?
Yeah.
Like, right now?
Change anything?
Who fucking cares if the earth is flat or round? Like, why is that
We have
worried about?
pictures of other planets.
Yeah.
So why would our planet be shaped? Oh, we are in the rectangle one.
Yeah.
You know, all the other ones are rectangle.
And then it's like they get into the, hey, like, all right, okay, say the earth is flat. What has stopped people from walking off of it?
yeah.
What, like, there are people guarding. Why are there people guarding it?
Yeah.
Why would anybody care? You
Yeah.
understand? Like, it doesn't do
Is it
anything.
just infinite land?
Yeah.
Like, is that what they
And
think?
maybe it
It's
never
just this-
stops.
I think they
infinite
think there's
land?
an edge, but then it's like, why haven't I've seen the craziest shit in my life. How have I
Yeah.
not seen the edge of the earth?
Yeah.
Like, you understand, like,
Well, especially at this point in time, like you said, with like Google Earth and like, you know what I mean? Like you can see pictures of anything.
yeah.
Jasmine St. Clair blew fire out of her asshole. During a gangbang.
True that. Uh-huh. And
The world is not flat.
That's the TED Talk.
Andy Williams' TED Talk is like, well,
you guys ever check
have you
that
ever
out?
seen Triple Anal?
You mean to tell me that the earth is flat when we see shit?
Triple anal.
That's 3 dicks in one butthole.
Yeah.
Or a vagina.
They too tend to get like really testy. But
Yeah,
there's
well,
a-
I think that's like anything too. Like if someone walked in this room right now and told me that Ric Flair was a like bullshit, I would go to blows for them.
Yeah.
I would go to blows for Ric Flair. Where like if you believe in something that much, it's like anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but they just chose that. Mm-hmm. Well, it was funny because like the guy that had the argument with the other guy, I asked the dude, I go, hey man, ask him if he believes in dinosaurs. Because if he believes in if he doesn't believe in dinosaurs, then like he's gone.
Yeah.
And then he like texts me a couple hours later. Was like, dude, you're never gonna believe this. He believes that dinosaurs didn't exist. And it was like, fuck, man. Like, and you're like, this guy's like, in like, I hate shitting on it because he's a really good wrestler, but like, you know, he's in charge of like other people's bodies.
Yeah.
And this thing is like, you know, maybe take a year off. You might be bumping a little too hard.
might be something going on.
Yeah.
There's that when they used to do that like Talking Smack show, Dan O'Brien like called AJ Styles a flat earther, and he got like real defensive like right away.
Oh,
it's
man.
it's like a quick YouTube clip.
It's like AJ Styles, amazing wrestler. He takes things really seriously. Sometimes, like, have you seen that? I forgot who he was wrestling, but it's like years ago, like an indie show, and he had never seen the Austin 316 promo before. So this indie wrestler starts doing the promo, and he's like, you gonna do your job? Like, and he's like, you can beat me, you can break my body, but you will not disrespect the Lord, right? And he was just like freaking out on him, and it's just like so
loves Jesus.
fucking crazy.
Real
Where you're
religious
just like,
brother.
You can tell by his beard and his hair that he loves God. Like just staring at him, you're like, well, that's some experimental facial hair, because you flipping through the channels your entire life. When you get to the God channel, no one is normal.
no.
There's not just like your neighbor guy that's on there, like, you know, a guy you grew up next to that hunts and does normal man stuff. They're not on there.
Remember like the old dude who was always on the 700 Club?
Yeah, Jimmy Swaggart. Yeah, Jimmy Swaggart. And then
And, like,
what's the other?
Tammy.
Pat.
Big.
It was that guy. 700 Club was Pat. Someone literally listening to this is like,
Yeah.
The craziest ones are the dudes who like, I don't know the dude's name, but one guy was like really, really, really like anti-gay, and then like he got busted in like a gay raid. Like he was getting gay prostitutes with like
almost
meth.
feel like anyone
and, like,
that comes out and says that they're really against gays, is doing some real gay stuff.
Yeah.
Usually anybody that's like super
100%
homophobic has got something going on.
Because it's like, I've said this to a person because I had a friend who's like overly like being an activist, and he's just like, do you care about the road right now? Like, do you care about the road right now? If you do, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. You should care about it when you're on the road. But if you're thinking about the road, you're thinking about all this, like, you're doing something wrong. And that's how I feel about everything like that. You're just like, who the fuck cares? Like, they're not doing anything to you. You're not you're not in the room. Like, I don't care if someone likes mayonnaise on their sandwich. I'm not eating that sandwich. Like, don't fucking do that. Like, don't be.
People that get too carried away with it.
Yeah, because they're
not even involved.
Because they're so like worried about their choice. Yeah, and they're so like, I'm not about it for real. So you're just like proselytizing everything. Yeah. You're just like being like an asshole. Like when you're secure about whatever you're doing in your life, you just go like, fucking cares. Like I don't give a fuck.
I just like, that's like one of my favorite things. Like, go on tour, and we tour with a whole bunch of people, and we toured this band, and I remember like it was right when Trump was like running for president and stuff. Like, I'm not even that much of a political person, but like, politics aside, an asshole's an asshole.
Yeah.
So like, you see, this guy's a dickhead overall. And I remember like walking back from the gym with this dude, and we're walking to the venue, and this guy, like, there was like a white Jetta, and like just said Trump as big as you could put it on the back of the windshield, and I was like, I was more or less looking at a white Jetta that had like some bullshit written on the back, and I go, man, can you believe this dude? And the guy goes, well, it looks like I can't talk to anyone on this tour. He was like, and I go, whoa, are you like a Trump supporter? And he goes, oh yeah, like I love Trump. My family loves Trump, blah, blah, blah. And they were a God band. And I was like, okay. I'm like walking, and he was like, you don't want to talk about it? I was like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like a million other things I'd rather talk about than politics.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And it was just really funny. I was like, you guys really you really believe in this? And he was like, yeah, there should be a wall. There should, you know what I mean? Like, saying stuff, and you're like, it's almost like flat Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's never like, you never have an answer for it either. That's the thing. With flat Earth, it's like, can you tell me why? If you can tell me why, I'll stand with you. Yeah. Because there has to be a reason why. Like, everything has to have like some, like, even some bullshit about something like, no, it just would be like dangerous where like countries would fall apart, like, or whatever, because there's like rules. Like, sure, give me that bullshit. Tell me something like that. Don't just be like, it's because it's flat. Like, fuck you. Like, give me some great lie. Like,
the usual answer is just because, like, don't they always just try to say like I just don't believe everything I'm told? Like, there's, you know what I mean? Like,
then how do you believe that the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
So.
But if you believe the Earth is flat, you believe in God, or you believe.
Usually that's the usual.
Like, do you ever like listen to that Rogan podcast when Bobcat Goldthwait's on? And Bobcat's like talking about,
I don't remember them talking about flat
Sasquatch.
Earth.
No.
Oh yeah.
But he's like talks about Sasquatch, and he goes, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in that. But like, I feel like I should believe in something, so I choose Sasquatch. That's the thing I believe in.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get behind that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and it's weird because so like ever since I like listened to that, I got super into Sasquatch. Mm-hmm. And like the fact,
because you can, it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anybody, like, but you're saying, like, what does anybody care?
It's 90% bullshit, and then 10% in my brain, I believe that he's like a time traveler. Like, I have a crazy theory about it, but it's only because I want that crazy theory to come out true and be like, I fucking knew it.
It's so much better.
You know what I mean?
So
like, that's it. There's no weight behind it. But if you talk to if someone comes up to me and starts talking to me about Sasquatch, I'm gonna give you the most insane fucking theory that I have in my brain, and it all ties aliens into it and stuff like that. So,
does Sasquatch jerk off?
Absolutely. I'll tell you why. This is it. and I'm not getting any farther into it. If there's a chimpanzee, right, that's one chromosome away from us, right, and then there's us, that's technically has the best chromosomes or whatever.
Yeah.
What if there's a super ape that has like 40 times more chromosomes than us, and he just chooses not to be seen? And he goes through portals, and he's a time traveler. And like when we look at the face of rocks, like if we look at like a mountain, we just see rocks. But this dude, he looks at it, and it's this big elaborate building. He lives in a fucking mountain. I got it. This all comes in my.
Oh, yeah. I love this.
Shit.
I love it.
The portal thing was the idea that like I read something about how people think he like.
That's how he's never been seen.
Yeah, he travels through portals, which is insane. But I believe it.
I dig that.
But I'm a believer.
And it's also just because like, fucking, I'm not going to talk to you about God. I'm not going to talk to you about politics.
Yeah, you want to talk Sasquatch?
You
We'll
want to talk
all day.
Sasquatch? I'm in. You know, like that's it.
Yeah.
Remember the Yeti? WCW?
Yeah. Yes.
The Yeti.
Yeti.
Yeah.
Wait, what was...
It was Big Ron Stud.
As a mummy.
Yeah. Who ended up being Reese in the flock.
Okay. Oh, he came out as a mummy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I do remember a mummy.
Legit 7 foot.
Yeah.
Reese
I'll
was a
tell you
big-
this. You want to
Reese
see
was a big
something
fella.
really fucking cool? Watch the giant throw Roadblock around. Roadblock was like a 6'7", like big dude. Dude, he holds him in the air on a
Jesus.
choke
Choke
slam
slam?
and puts him down.
That's
It's
awesome.
hard.
It,
We just totally avoided the tug time. You were about to say what movie was your movie, and then we just went to flat Earth.
not that we went into virtual reality.
Yeah.
Virtual reality.
I love that that all like came together.
we had to
It's
get into,
beautiful.
we had to get into VR real quick.
Well, what was your movie? I got to get back to tug time.
Oh, let me think.
Like when you were growing up, it was just like, oh fuck, this is on, and then you just start unzipping your pants.
I got no choice
There's
now.
still movies like that to this day. It's like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Like Rebecca De Mornay looks so hot in Risky Business.
Yeah.
She shows Bush.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a poster of Tracy Lords in my apartment.
Yo.
I got that in Canada at
Yeah.
like a thrift store.
Who's
and
Tracy Lords?
She was like a porn star that then turned into like a really B-rated actress.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But she was also underage. She was
Yeah.
fucking underage. So
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, you might be tugging to some like
Yeah,
16
some,
Oh no, it's just it's so
dirty-
but what movie? Because there's like a lot of things that like just pop up in your head where you're just like.
Most of it was when you were young and hadn't
Yeah.
seen that kind of stuff yet, and it was just like, whoa.
So I will it. There were some like I remember staying up to watch Showgirls and then just like no, this isn't good. This isn't good for. I mean, you're like there's tits in this and that's
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
And you're like
Gina Gershon.
watching. You know what? All right, this is a fucking. This isn't even like a sexy movie, but it was an NC-17 movie, and I always stayed up to watch those.
Yeah.
And it was. What was it called? Harold and Maude or no?
Harold and Maude, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
The little kid with the older woman.
No, not that one. It's
Harold and Kumar.
Henry, like it was. Yeah, right, Harold and Kumar.
You might have heard of it.
It was like
Harold and Maude.
Henry and June or something.
Oh, Henry, yeah, with Joon.
I think, and
This
or
does sound
something.
familiar.
But it had Uma Thurman in it.
Yeah, that's what it
And-
was.
Yeah, and it was like French, and I just remember being like 10 years old and seeing just go down on this chick outside and like
Like, what are they doing?
I was just like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And, like Uma Thurman, like late, like
very hot.
so hot back then. Like
Still hot.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
We were talking about Boogie Nights. Like Boogie Nights is on Netflix.
yeah.
Just Heather Graham.
That's his
I
go-to.
was thinking about Heather Graham, the other like that movie, Anger Management.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Is she
And
in
she's-
Anger Management?
Yeah,
I don't
and she's
remember.
like a crazy lady, and she's like wearing this like Boston Red Sox bikini, and
yeah.
I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
And
She's so
the Austin Powers that she's in, she is just smoking hot.
yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Did the Hangover.
Yeah.
She's like trashy hot in that.
Yeah.
Big fan of trashy hot.
I love a good trash.
I'm a big,
What was the
big trashy hot guy.
What was the girl that was on My Name's Earl?
Jamie Presley.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy, the next generation.
There it is.
Fuck yeah.
I think it was like Poison Ivy 2 or something like
It was
that.
3
Oh,
because
yeah.
Poison Ivy 2 had Alyssa Milano.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's the
And,
first one?
Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then Alyssa Milano.
And he was like, but yeah, that was huge.
that was a big
And then
Alyssa-
Margot Robbie looks
big Alyssa
just
Milano
like.
fan when I was
Yeah.
young.
Oh God, Margot Robbie so hot.
Man, she's so hot.
It's so.
Who's it? Margot.
Margot Robbie.
Who's that?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Oh,
played
yeah,
that
yeah,
Tanya.
yeah. She looks
Yeah.
just like Jamie Presley, correct?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking
Yeah.
insane.
Jamie Presley is. You ever see that movie Chloe? I forgot about this tug time. It's Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah.
Just naked the whole time.
She was also in like Lovelace too.
Yeah. She plays like Liam Neeson's mistress in it, and then Julianne Moore.
Yeah, they fuck.
In what movie?
This is a movie called Chloe. Remember that movie? Remember that place Rivoli that you guys did the?
Oh yeah. That's what you're telling me
They
about.
were filmed there.
Yeah.
Filmed it there.
Oh, okay, in Toronto.
Yeah.
Pam Grier movies too.
Yeah.
God,
Are you talking about like the old blaxploitation
Yes,
ones?
I
She
love
actually
Black
showed
Widow.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just
Yeah.
fucking.
Those. She almost had like Russ Meyer girl tits.
Oh yeah.
which were
What does that
awesome.
mean?
Oh, you
they
know
were
Russ Meyer movies?
No.
Russ Meyer movies are
like, Faster Pussycat and stuff like that.
and Mud
really?
Honey.
Yeah.
And like Russ Meyer.
They had a certain boob.
Really?
Those
just-
girls.
That's hilarious.
Huge,
Voluptuous.
Yeah.
like it was just like womanly. Like Bill Burr has described titties the best way I've ever heard, and he just like Kate Winslet had these big motherly titties,
Yeah.
and you're just like, yeah, like woman body.
Yeah,
Like,
like it's an actual real. You would see those boobs on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
and
they were known as Russ Meyer boobs.
Well,
pretty
just
much?
he was a director. That,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but he had
these
a
movies,
certain-
and his girls
that's-
always had like a certain look.
That's
and
hilarious.
you're just like, these are the best. Like they're not stage tits. They're not
Yeah.
like these weird, like,
Yeah.
especially the 80s, because the 80s had like all these like pointy,
Oh, the banana
like,
ones?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
the banana,
Yeah.
and like 3-foot asses, and you're just like,
Oh, dude, long butts.
Laura talks about like having like a long ass all the time, like
Long butt.
Yeah,
It's like the weirdest
It was
thing.
such an odd, but like Pam Grier, like in Coffee or
Yeah.
Friday Force, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's so. I'm like, fuck, Pam Grier.
that was a big one for me
Kelly
because I
LeBrock's
didn't.
long butt.
Yeah,
Weird Science.
80s stuff, man.
Elvira.
The high waisted,
Yeah.
the high waisted jeans back then.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about Pam Grier until I saw Jackie Brown.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
she's
then-
hot in Jackie Brown.
Yeah, and then then I found out about her, and then like after Google searching, and I was like, oh, she actually got naked in movies, and like
wow.
that just blew my
Was
fucking
she
mind.
in? What was it? Bad Mama.
Like
Shit,
yeah.
What was the name of that movie?
it's not Big Bad Mama, is it?
No,
No. It's like bad.
it's like a Women in Chains movie.
Yes.
It's
But it's like her and a white chick, and they're just naked like the whole time. They're like, are they like they
Escape.
yeah, they escape a woman's prison, and then they're like handcuffed or chained like
Jeez.
together the entire time.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like the like Skinamax version of Fled.
Yeah, it's basically just
Yeah.
like fucking fetish stuff, pretty much, like
Yeah.
naked chicks and chains.
Yeah, but I love Pam Grier, and like there's an episode of The Fresh Prince that she's on, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Really?
she is so fucking hot in that episode, and it's
Fuck.
like it's so insane because she's just like wearing like a nightgown, and you're like, fuck
Yeah.
me, like
Yeah.
like this is amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Fresh Prince, maybe one of the best television shows
Yeah.
of all time, like hands
Fresh
down.
Prince is so good.
Dude, like the writing of
So
that
good.
show, and like, do you ever hear like I like a lot of like Will Smith like inspirational stuff. He was so stoked when he got that show. They actually played a clip of it. Like when he got that gig, he like read the entire script, so he knew everybody's lines. And the big problem was like when he was doing scenes, while people were talking to him, he would be mouthing
the words,
and they
yeah.
have actual footage of him like doing it. Like that's how hard he worked.
Yeah.
Like that show just fucking rules.
It was so great.
When,
Like
when Uncle Phil used to fucking throw DJ Jazzy Jeff
yeah,
like out the door.
so fucking funny.
It's
Did you watch the Dana Carvey show documentary?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I love the fact that like, the movie's like almost over, and then like Robert Schmeigel's like, "Oh, I actually watched Home Improvement once," and then they start showing like clips of like, "I don't want to die, Dad," and it's like Jonathan Taylor Thomas like talking to like Tim Allen like he's gonna die over like something like he catches like cancer or something.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He just caught cancer. And like they're talking about it, and then Robert Schmeigel's like, I felt terrible. Like we were doing like these gross jokes after, and like none of us watched the
family
fucking
show
before it. They gave him the hottest thing. But I was thinking about like Fresh Prince. Like French Prince is like, it basically was Home Improvement. Like the humor on it was like very like
show.
There's like teen pregnancy. There's like, you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Trying to like teach lessons.
Like what was the show that they put on after Fresh Prince? Can you imagine like Living Color?
Yeah.
Like coming on after that, because it was a Fox show.
Yeah.
So like it would have been like Living Color or like Mad TV or
Fresh Prince was NBC.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
But then the replays were on Fox then.
Yeah, they're always on. Like,
Okay,
when
yeah.
they had
Like
syndication.
TBS used to play them like back to back.
Yeah.
But yeah, thinking about, I think
I never thought of that ever until I watched that documentary, and then I was like, fuck it. Like, can you imagine getting that you're going right behind the number one spot and you never watched it?
yeah.
And then you come out with something like the Dana Carvey show. Like
It's like the Germans yelling and
Yes.
like this weird shit.
it's insane.
That's
to me.
great. It's a good story.
Yeah,
For sure.
that documentary, like that and the Gilbert Godfrey one, like
Oh, that's
blew my
amazing.
mind.
I gotta see both of these.
The Gilbert Godfrey one was my first ever Twitter follower.
Oh yeah.
He didn't follow me.
Oh.
I followed him. My first ever follow was him.
The best was that Stern used to just have him on all the time.
Yeah.
And when he'd like, because he
He's,
didn't
like,
have
totally
anything
normal.
going on.
Yeah, hearing him is just normal, and like it's like beautiful, and watching like all the footage that they have
Yeah.
of him with his like
He's been around for
sisters.
so long.
Yeah.
But it's like the personal footage he has where he's just
Yeah.
him and his sister
Yeah.
eating dinner with their
Yeah.
mom.
I'd actually,
and their grand.
And he goes and sees his sister every day.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
He takes a megabus.
yeah.
Can you imagine being on the bus with Gilbert Godfrey?
Yeah.
And he's like a normal guy, just like looking out the window.
Yeah.
Like,
I would immediately sit next to him and just start asking him about USA Up All Night. Yeah, 100%.
Rhonda Shear.
Yeah. So, tell me about Rhonda Shear, please.
Yeah. Talk about tug time.
Let's get into it now.
Oh my god, I remember watching like softcore porn coming.
Yeah.
There was a movie called Bikini Bistro.
Okay.
And that was like the first softcore porn I had ever
Yeah.
seen, and I was just like, had like Marilyn Chambers, because she was like the champ of all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is amazing. It is all, and
Yeah.
then it was on USA like
Yeah.
up all night out of nowhere, and I was just like, wait, how is this on here? Like, but then like
Yeah,
silk stockings, but
Yeah, USA Up All Night used to play almost like Skinamax movies,
yeah.
but just didn't
Dude, they
show
would
the
like
fucking...
it was funny too, because before that it was Billy Bob.
that was Showtime, right?
No. He was up all night before Rhonda Shear.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like Billy Bob, whatever the fuck his name is, would do like all the
There's Joe Bob Briggs?
Joe Bob.
yeah,
Briggs,
well,
that's
Monster, like that was a TNT Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a because he had a show on Joe Bob Briggs Drive-In Theater. I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
was Showtime.
But it went to USA.
Yeah, and then you said he was on
It probably
TBS. I
failed
think
miserably,
too.
and they're like, "Well, we got to get this like weird 44-year-old woman with big boobies to like
Big
come
blonde
on
hair
do
and
it."
big boobs.
But I remember seeing some great movies like.
Toxic. That's where I saw Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, I saw Neon Maniacs, which is like an insane like B-rated movie. Pink
Sounds
Chiquita, Pink Chiquita's with Frank Stallone.
Really?
There's like a
Ooh.
scene where he's like on a balcony and he's like, "I'll be right down," and he does a backflip and lands on his feet, and then starts dancing.
That's
I
incredible.
miss all of it. Like when you would able to like. I remember like seeing Penn and Teller's movie.
Yeah.
like,
Really?
That was so fucking. And then like Teller's talking. I'm like,
Yeah.
the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Like, this is like the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And then and then just
But like Rhonda Shear was so. There's nude pics on the internet of Rhonda
Yeah,
Shear.
not as cool as I thought they were
Yeah,
going to
they
be.
still.
I mean, definitely check it out. I'm not discouraging you not to.
I've talked about this. You'd probably like this. The Samantha Fox calendar.
oh
Dude,
my
Samantha Fox
fucking
calendar.
god,
Tugged to it last week.
Samantha Fox.
I looked it up because that was like my like because like being 40, like I had to like I literally had to like go out of my way to
search the earth.
find things.
Yeah.
Like a nipple. Like
Well, I
just
remember.
a nipple, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll be 30 in September,
Yeah.
but I still. It's like
Yeah.
being the last generation of just like, we had a.
Porn wasn't on your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're
Yeah.
just like, the amount of porn you found in the woods, and just like your kids' parents had porn. And I remember going to this girl's house when I was like 11, and it was me and like my friends, and we just watched a porn for the first time. And this stuck with me for the rest of my life. It was this black chick in the beginning, because they used to have ads for like phone sex hotlines, and it was like 1-800-SLUT or something, like, or 9 or whatever. And this black lady who looked like Jacqueline, like, she said, "You've never been fucked until you've been soul fucked." And I was just like,
what was that chick's name?
You still remember?
Oh, dude. Her last name was Jack Me.
Janet Jack Me.
Yes. She was so fucking hot. One of the first
porn star?
Yeah, but she was like, she was like probably like the dirtiest black chick at the time. Like, cause like, you know, like there was always like porn stars that like went that extra mile. She was definitely on that list of like girls that like went the extra mile. But it was hard to find her stuff.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to go to a porn shop and buy like her like compilation video or something like that. But I remember like one of the first pornos I ever saw was Devil and Miss Jones 3, and Vanessa Del Rio was in it. And like I got this wrong. I said it was Erica Boyer. It's not Erica Boyer. It is one of my favorite tugs of all time is Lois Ayers. She's the blonde chick from that. But there's a scene where Vanessa Del Rio gets gangbanged, and like I have every single section of that in my brain. Like I have every section of that porno. No. I'm just talking about like it was such an impressionable moment in my life that now you can go back and just now, like, because of the internet, like 2018, you can just literally go watch Devil and Miss Jones 3 and then it all comes back and you're like, fuck, this is great.
There is something like special, but one, just the body types, or you're just like, I like this, like, and I like, you like a fucking woman.
Yes.
Like I like there's a porn star, I don't know if she's still now, but her name's like Tiffany Minx.
Oh yeah, dude, Tiffany Minx is great.
Oh, she's so great.
That was like one of my tugs when I was a kid.
Like you just you just see like remember seeing those videos, and you're just like, your cousin had it, and like you would remember the scene that he was on, so you can rewind it back to that
when your
shit.
friends let you borrow porno.
You're just like, all right, cool.
Yo, how fucked up was it that you had something that someone else was constantly jerking off to, that you constantly jerked off to also?
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
It is super fucking weird to think about it, but you're also like, this makes sense. We're
not doing it at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, man. Just because it's so funny to wax nostalgic about like, oh man, like just like seeing those boobs and just like
I remember
the butts.
I remember seeing like Tiffany Minx in like the ads.
Yeah, and
I would be like, oh my god, like, and I would be like say I stopped to get waters before we went, and like I actually saw like fuck mags, the guy, and I almost picked up a jerk mag just so we could like go through it and talk about it on the podcast
next time.
And then I decided not to, because it was like $7.99 for a magazine,
right?
Yeah, like
what? Because now it's like
I just go like
it's like a thing. It's a treat. That's why it's now instead of it just being like you bought porn this way,
and like the fucking plastic bag and all that shit.
Yeah.
When I was in wrestling school, I worked third shift at a Dairy Mart like overnight sometimes, and fucking it was like nobody. It was super boring. You're there for 8 hours, no one would come in, and like when they would like restock the porno mags was like a big day. It's like, oh fuck, all new porno mags. Now I got something to do.
Porno mags were great.
Yeah, another one we used to do was I remember we picked up on. I mean, I don't know, when you were like a kid, this was cool. You could go to a payphone. Someone's like, yo, you go to the payphone and type in 1-800-HOT-BABE, and it like takes you to a phone sex line. Like, I mean, obviously you wouldn't pay for it, but it was like you could like listen to a phone sex line for a few minutes.
Hot
and then
Babe.
Hot Babe. And then there was other.
It was.
I remember everybody knew Hot Babe. There was other ones too, but like 1-800-HOT-BABE was the one everybody knew.
Yeah.
I can't imagine like calling a phone sex line, because it's just the act of just like talking about it. It's so creepy and weird.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then when it all came out that like all the chicks you're talking to are like overweight and like you know what I mean, not
or just like a guy who has a very feminine voice.
Yeah, exactly. Or a dude sometimes. Yeah, who's just really good at a woman's voice. Yeah, phone sex lines were like huge for like a long time.
Yeah,
but it's just weird that was like a business,
an insane business.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
it's texting.
Yeah.
There's like phone text lines.
Yeah. Like now, like party lines are done through text, and
really?
So I'm like very fascinated, but with how porn has to figure out how to get money in this age of free.
I mean, that
stuff.
had to be such a huge financial blow. Like,
and now it's the making it intimate.
Yeah,
where it's now your. Like she'll give you a Polaroid. You'll get Polaroids of her, and you're like,
I know a girl that's like on Twitter. Like, I have a few friends from Toronto who like are sex workers, and like one of the girls was like, I have a 300. I don't know how this happens, but she has a $343 phone bill that she's like late on, and she's like, I'm literally just selling nudes for $1, and like she like within hours she had it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I believe it 100%. Yeah, I've seen
$1 just like, I'll send you a nude.
Yeah,
because they want to feel like they know that like it's so like, and
she sent this to me, like,
and you understand like, and it's like the hedonic treadmill of just like where you're at, and like getting, and that's why you like try to cut down like porn and just because you don't want to get like, I remember like there's this porn star, her name is Amber Blank, and and it was just like, I remember I saw this video and she's just like fucking this black dude, and it's her husband filming them, and all of this just her husband filming them, and it was like, I feel like I shouldn't be saying this, and that's why this is so fucking hot.
That's
it. Seems so weird that this is just like a thing that and we're like, and now
it's
she's
like
a real web
thing, but not.
There's
really.
definitely stuff. There's definitely stuff you watch and then blow a load all over yourself, and then you just like feel like shit about it. And you're like, oh man, I don't feel good about that at all. I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Oh yeah, maybe we should end the podcast on that.
Peace in the ring, guys. See you later.
It's just. I feel like we have to give him the story on the closeout.
Oh yeah, you appreciate it.
I feel like, because I feel like your wrestling knowledge is literally on par with ours. Like even like it's crazy. Like we had like, I wasn't expecting you to know about like psychology, but like you literally broke down psychology in like like a pretty easy form. Like you talking about comedy and like how there's psychology there's a psychology to both. And it's very similar in both aspects of just like where the crowd is and stuff like that. But it's pretty insane that you know that.
That's that you like broke it down real easy, real fast. Like the biggest thing I always say is like with dudes, like the easiest way to put it is just like, oh yeah, he gets it. Like, you know what I mean? Like certain people get it, certain people don't. You know, that's, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that dude's cool, he gets it. You know what I mean? That's like, and then there's the delusional guy who, you know what I mean? Like, I did want to ask you about this. Do you get dudes in comedy too who like, I feel like everybody probably does this maybe when they first start. Like you see a guy and he's like, oh, that guy's just trying to act like Kevin Hart. Or like, okay, or oh, that guy's, like you said, people wearing like the Louis C.K. shirts. But like in their actual comedy, it's like they're just emulating people or like telling jokes that they've heard somewhere else.
There is a guy who I remember, so Nietzsche's is like, they have an open mic and they play like music between each person. And this is not the kind of music that is like fun or exciting or anything. It's just real shitty. Just like my band, just like my band has music and they said I can use it type of shit. And it's just like, and there is a Cat Williams bit about Rick Ross is hustling, and that he's like, it's the song they'll play and you will be doing anything and it'll just make you hype.
It was like his opening bit of like a huge special.
And this guy tries to do that with the music at Nietzsche's, and he's like, hold on, play that again, this is that music. And I was just like, not only he's doing, and I can tell he's doing this because he's like, this is a white people venue, so they're not going to know that I do this, like that this is his joke, but also
where it came from.
Like beyond you just stealing a joke, this is the wrong music to do this joke because it's just like You're just like, no one's getting hype and doing anything off this music. It's just fucking lame.
Yeah, you're really fucking this up.
But you're
man.
just like, I'm doing these jokes. And then I saw him literally tell a Kevin Hart joke and begin by saying Kevin Hart says this and just does the bit, and you're just like,
fuck, man.
Wow.
Story.
Yeah, you're like,
sucks, man.
great job, guy.
Do you like on that? Do you call dudes out?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it real? It's got to be real uncomfortable.
It's something. It's just like,
somebody has
stop
to, man.
doing it. Like,
Yeah.
Just like there was this guy who used to do musical comedy. He'd just come on but play other musical comedians shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like, write something.
Yeah.
Write something. Like, I'm telling people, stop putting you on shows.
Yeah.
Like, write something, because we all know these songs and we all know this shit. Write something. And
what you're doing is not
hasn't
cool.
showed up since. And it's just like, oh.
Well, it's like, every scene kind of like needs guys to do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, even like fucking Undertaker was the fucking locker room leader in WWE for a long time. Like, somebody, every scene needs a guy to step up and tell guys, this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong.
I've seen dudes too that have been around for a while. Like, I tell this story a lot at training. I'm not going to use his name because it's literally the most ruthless thing I've ever seen. Where, like, I'm outside of a show talking to a very popular wrestler, and he's just like, we're talking, like, he was going to stay with me that night or something like that, and like, we're talking about something, and like a younger, very popular wrestler comes up to him and goes like, "Hey, did you by chance see the match, blah blah?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's real cool. Like, it's cool that you're not ripping off so and so, and he like starts naming names of like other dudes. It's like, yeah, he used to just like do that guy's whole like move set, blah blah. Like, oh, you did this one thing that was cool, but like, it's cool that you're just not a rip off artist. Okay, cool." And then like literally just turns to me and starts talking to me about like it never, like, it didn't faze him at all. He just shredded the dude. And the dude who, like, for me being like a wrestler / fan.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at this like dude and I'm just like, you just said that to, holy fuck. Like, that was ruthless. And then he just turns to me like it was nothing and just like talking. I mean, it was like not nice.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, yeah, great job out there. That was cool. Like, immediately it was just like, well, you're not ripping this guy off anymore. So like, that's great. Like,
you're off to a good start.
And I remember the match and I was like, that match was awesome. Like, seeing the match was like, damn, like the dude killed it. And like, you're like, and he's just like, he's like, I helped train him, so I have to like keep him like humble. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, oof.
You sure are, pal.
Yeah.
The closer.
Yeah, let's close it up.
Yeah.
Well,
so we were on a show. Was it 2 years ago now?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, we're on a show with fucking
Joey Janelle Spring Break.
Okay.
Yeah, in Orlando, and Andy was like watching the show, and Earl Hebner was sitting next to him, the old school referee. Mm-hmm. And Andy, do you want to tell him your joke?
It was like, so Glacier comes out, and like just fucking around. Like, I didn't hear the guy talk all night. Earl Hebner didn't say one word. Probably talked to him. Probably talked to like Laura, but
Earl's the coolest dude on earth.
Not me. You know what I mean? He was like talking to me, so I didn't hear him say a word, right? And I go, "You guys feel that? It got real cold in here." And Earl Hebner, without a beat, just looks up and goes, "'Cause the heat's in the ring, brother." And it was like, there you go. Like, totally making fun of Glacier. It was awesome.
Earl just fucking fires one off.
So fucking good.
So every time we finish our podcast,
that's our closing line.
Heat's in the ring.
But you should do your social plugs, man. Twitter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right now it's Black History Month. I noticed that you're doing the Black Power Ranger. Yeah, Power Ranger.
Yeah, that started like 3 or 4 years ago, where I was just like bored, and I started drawing really shitty pictures of Black Widow from the Avengers in Microsoft Paint. I was like, this is fun. I'm gonna just do this every year. I'm just like a different series of drawings and shit. And so this year is Black
really
Ranger.
Cool.
Yeah,
badass.
Yeah,
it's gonna get weirder.
It's gonna get weirder and weirder.
Yeah. So your social, it's Clay Fighter.
Clay Fighter 88 on Instagram and Clay Fighter 1 on Twitter.
On Twitter.
Yeah,
good shit, man.
Any shows coming up?
I have like a show in Rochester. I think like I have some shows in like Canada.
I mean, if you're going to Bolton, Ontario, they love the podcast.
Ooh,
They will be excited.
Yeah.
Where are you going up in Toronto or up in Canada?
St. Catharines. I forget which the name of the club.
Yeah,
but that's like the 23rd and 24th.
Sweet.
And I run a show at Good Bar every Thursday.
Yeah, that's you were saying. You run a show that's at Good Bar.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so it's open mic every Thursday except for the last Thursday of the month where we put on a showcase.
How long you been doing it for?
4 years. 4 or 5 years. Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
That's
You've been
awesome.
running it for 4 years.
Yeah, like I was given the room by my friend. He was moving to New York. And
He was doing it before. And
yeah, he ran it, and then he was like, "I trust you," and it was like I was a year in. And then, so he's just like, "All right, cool." Now
we're doing it for 4 years though, man. It's fucking sweet.
Yeah,
and he was saying now, and Keith has done it before.
Yeah,
that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
Wild.
Very cool.
I watched Keith bomb at a Warped Tour once. It was awesome.
Yeah.
He just has like his jokes are too smart.
I watched Keith bomb at a Warped Tour.
Yeah,
and that's like his crowd.
He like said one thing, and I remember like I laughed because I know Keith's humor, and like nobody was laughing, and I was like, oh no.
I remember him having something about a brown belt, and it was so like detailed and just talking about it. I was like, I like this.
That's like it's
so
funny
great.
because like when I describe those two, like the two brothers in my band, like one is like an amazing artist, and then the other one is like a verbal genius. Like he's like literary genius, and like both of them like tons of condiments. Like on a burger. So like I describe myself, I'm like if I was to describe my friends in burger form, like I'm a burger guy that likes like lettuce, or not lettuce, just ketchup, mustard, burger, cheese. They're like two guys who have to put every condiment, everything on a burger. And that's like, if you look at Jordan's artwork, it is the craziest, most detailed,
insanely detailed.
And like you're looking, and I've seen him literally crumple a sheet of paper that he's been working for like 3 weeks on and throw it out and just restart it because one thing, like one like scale on a dragon is like off. And then like Keith is like always writing, and like when you talk to him about songs, like he'll write a song and he'll be super hyped on the song, and then like a month later he's like, oh, it's terrible. And you're just like, dude, that is one of the coolest, like, some of the coolest lyrics I've ever read in my life. And you're just not happy with it. Because, like, the detail that they put into those things is just insane. Like, it's crazy. And I just don't have, like, I'm sure there's probably things in my life that I do that to, but, like, those two, like Keith telling a joke, it has to be, like, he probably doesn't look at the big picture. Like, you were talking about, like, the Book of Satan.
Yeah.
Like he's actually thinking of
gonna
like
detail it.
Yeah, like
the fuck out. Yeah.
Oh, this is one specifically for the anti-LaVey one.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna grasp that.
Yeah. He's just very smart.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Clayton. Thanks for coming on.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks
it
for
was
having
awesome.
me.
We
This was
talked a
fucking
lot.
awesome.
We just
Yeah. The last podcast we did, we tried to specifically not talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
I think you got it. You kind of got the like, we need to talk about wrestling.
Oh, we can talk about wrestling. This guy likes wrestling.
Yeah, I love talking about
And
it.
as soon as oh, he gets it too. All right, good deal.
Yeah. All right.
That's beautiful shit.
Give it to him.
Yeah, he's in the ring, guys. I fucked it up.
Yeah. Hits in the ring, brother.
Yeah.
See you guys.